he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Good morning. Welcome in to another edition of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. No Carmichael Dave this morning. The voice, 1.5. Carmichael Dave 0. Yeah. That might have been my audible reaction this morning as well. We missed the big guy. He'll, I don't know, maybe be back tomorrow. Maybe not. Who knows? Jason Ross, Christopher Lott here with you this morning. We take you till 10 o'clock. Today on the show, it is a Wednesday. We will visit with our Sactown Sports 49ers insider, Emil Fergoso. That's at Niners at 9.
Wow, that was a really good analogy.
I thought it was. Thanks, Emil. At 8 o'clock, the television analyst of your Sacramento Kings, Katie Christensen, who had to watch that game in person last night. Maybe I'll just talk to Dave's dad. What'd you think of the game last night? Hey, Carmichael Dave's dad, do you know that we have a holiday party today? Oh, come on. Yeah, welcome in. We do have a holiday party today. Christopher Lott, are you going to said holiday party today?
Are you going?
I am.
Okay, then I'll go.
Oh, you weren't going to go if I didn't go?
If nobody else is going. Because here's the thing with like these holiday parties, and now I was usually in the midday.
Yeah.
So like it would always be.
You have like a really small window or no window at all to go.
It's like, oh, no, I can't make it because I've got to work. Oh, you could come for a half hour.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, sometimes we've, everything, I would say, that's not true, not a full blanket statement, but since we've all kind of experienced the COVID times, it feels like just kind of all these things have changed. We were on an incredible stretch of all the years we've been here where this event 8 times out of 10 was held on a Kings game night.
We had a run, though, where it was in January.
And we've had that. Then we didn't have them, which we weren't having people get together, understood that. Then maybe we had something smaller and it was here and a little more of a potluck, and that's fine too. We're off site today. We've had that where we've had it off site and prizes were given out and staff members won pretty good prizes.
I'm attempting to dazzle Dave.
So much so that you and I had to help put some of these prizes in a person's car.
I wonder if he still has that TV.
It's a really good question. Why wouldn't he?
I'll ask him.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a good opportunity to get together. The funny thing is, and this is probably the way most parties work, whether it's work related, whether it's, I don't know if it would be family is the right thing to say, but friends, they'll just be, likely we'll have a smaller gathering of Sactown sports people together. I mean, we have all of our radio stations getting together and more of maybe the people that are, I would say we have an upstairs and a downstairs, and the upstairs in general is more of the people that are on air and in programming. Downstairs, different, sales, people that work here too, that do the job. But don't you think, Chris, it'll probably end up for those that go from our station will probably end up being in our own little smaller huddle.
Yeah.
That's generally, and that's the way.
I just said, if I'm not going, if you're not going.
Well, and just based on the time of it, I'm pretty sure we won't see. Well, I don't know. You think Watkins and Styles will make their way there after?
I give Styles
I feel like he wants to go.
I give him like a 75%.
How about Chris Watkins?
I give him a 32%.
Yeah. And then the afternoon show only
he still has a TV.
He does?
Yeah.
You already got a feedback?
Yeah.
Wow. Good morning. the afternoon show doesn't have a big window of time. Like they're the ones that you can come by for a half hour if they even want to. I mean, it's just, I think our event's from 1 to 4. Does that sound right? Something like that?
Yeah, 1 to 4.
Yeah. So the Drive Guys will have a smaller window. By the way, I think today on the Drive Guys, it'll be Whitey Gleason again without Drapes. Drapes is down and out. He's under the weather. We got Carmichael Dave under the weather. I think the entire Kings were under the weather last night. And so we need all of you out there to take care of yourself, to get better. Whatever it is going around. And so we want you guys all to do to be safe, to be healthy through this holiday season coming up. Yeah, so the holiday party today, I don't know. We even had, do you remember the one, Chris, we had? And I want to say this was a holiday party. Yeah, it was. And we did whatever version of it was on Zoom.
Yes.
And I think I don't know, people were kind of given an opportunity to host a game segment. And Doug Christie and I hosted, I think what we had.
It was baby pictures.
Could you identify staff members of the building from their baby pictures? And that certainly was unique.
I think you might have heard on the record. You guys were recording in a separate part of the building.
Yeah,
you might have been able to hear me laugh
from a different part.
From when Whitey was guest as one of the baby pictures,
and who at the time was not here,
was not working here.
So we thought it was a really odd guess for multiple reasons, but it was really the person who guessed it. And secondly, it was also, why would we put, then let's just put people that aren't even working here at all, like that nobody knows baby picture up. It was just such a funny guess. And I think it was actually the first guess of the first baby that was pictured. So the first guess that submitted is someone that didn't work here at the time and hadn't worked here for years.
For a long time. Over a decade?
So, probably, because Whitey had been gone for a long time. We're so glad to have him back. But you're thinking the first guess is someone that doesn't work here for, if it's a decade, let's say even if it's 5 years, then there's a good portion of the people that are in this Zoom that work here that may never have met him. So why don't we just put, a picture of someone that worked in 1993? Or someone that doesn't even work here. Oh, that person works at Macy's. What? That one was truly memorable. I can't remember even half the other games we played. I think maybe there was song recognition, different things, but that's kind of what we all had to go through at the time. Are you sure you were in a different room? I feel like you were in the office with Doug.
Oh, no.
You were down the hall?
No, I think I was here.
In this room?
I'm pretty sure I was in this room.
Down the hall. You know what? Maybe that's what made Doug laugh. Like all of us laugh because we could hear you laughing. And you might have been on mute for the Zoom, but we heard it down the hall, which was priceless. Like,
I remember your reaction was, well, current staff.
Priceless. So today, and we'll probably have a report tomorrow of the holiday party, of the festivities. And so look, for us, Chris, it might be you and I hanging out, because at the beginning, Styles and Watkins won't be there. I don't know if Whitey would be there and Jay Johnson, just because they've got a show at 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
We know Draper won't be because he's down and out. Dave won't be. He's down and out. We got a small group. We already have a small staff for Sactown Sports. We have a few other people that do help out.
I bet Nate shows up.
Oh, Nate's gonna be the life of the party.
He's a pretty relaxed guy.
He is. Wow. Yeah, I'm having fun. Kyle will probably be there, don't you think?
Yes.
Simone. We might get Simone there. I can't remember what her shift is today, if she has one up. I mean, anyway, it'll be an interesting adventure, certainly, to have a holiday party. If you guys have had your holiday party yet or not, let us know. Text line 916-339-1140. The YouTube chatters here, we appreciate all of you in this morning. If you've had it, how was it? If you didn't go, why? I like those things. It's a get together. I mean, honestly, Chris, free food, right? Yeah. But I don't think it's I don't think it's free beverage, which probably is smart. But I think we've had those before too.
Yeah, we used to get tickets.
Yeah, and
and I had a knack for finding the people that didn't want to use their tickets.
Like this guy. It's like this guy gets an alcohol ticket. It's like, yeah, and Chris, like, I don't even think you went to me. I was like, Chris, you might as well use it because I'm not going to.
I think I came up to you. Hey, you're not going to use that. Come on, just give it to me.
You're right. You're right. Have it. Have two. So anyway, a midday holiday party, getting together with the group. We don't see a lot of this building because just things have changed over time. So we'll have that a little bit later today. And if you're joining us right now, like we said, Dave, the voice kind of quit on him yesterday. You know what's funny is I think this is an old school reference for those of you that would even get this. But his text to me was saying he feels like he's whispering and he sounds like Peter Brady. Peter Brady went through the voice change on the episode of the Brady Bunch. When it's time to change. Yeah, you've got to rearrange. And so, yep, we don't have Dave today. Hopefully he'll be back with us tomorrow.
That was absolutely insane.
Totally insane. I agree. But we've got a big show for you today. On the show, as we mentioned, we will hear from our 49ers Sactown Sports insider, Emil Fragoso. We also will have Katie Christensen joining us at 8 o'clock. We will have all our regular staples. We will have, and this will be a challenge for you. Maybe not so much of a challenge because the Kings game was awful last night. But we have a Jiffy Lube drive of the game. G-Man called it, and maybe he had a premonition. He called it pretty early in the game because that game was rough. We might even ask that question from you today. How long did you stick with the game? What did you do while the game was on? I got some other work done. I was here, had to watch it, had to talk about it. And I will
third quarter, listen to podcasts.
There you go. And I will say this. I don't like the incident, but because of the Draymond Green situation, I think we've got a lot more to talk about today. We certainly will do a deep dive into that as well. So much to get to, but when we come back, it's leading off, and that's next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Chrysler's Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
Okay, but what about the last of the Dodge Chargers and the Challengers?
This month, save up to $5,000 off MSRP and get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs and Challenger GTs with no payments for 90 days.
The savings and financing won't last long. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,500 total net savings after 10,261 factor rebates and 6,239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699,991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash. Must have purchased qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of eligible First Responder Association only. No payments for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 5,000 total net savings after 5,000 dealer discount. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. 10 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Let's do it. Leading off, the three top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number one.
Yeah, that's well done, Chris. Saw your tweet about Draymond Green. We're going to talk about Draymond today, but let's start with cut number one. And, G-Man was warming up the Jets.
There's Kawhi Leonard muscling his way from the right baseline, and you might as well start warming up the Jet because the Kings were hoping they could make a run and maybe get back in this ball game and make a murmur, but Kawhi Leonard, with an answer there, will have a three-point opportunity. Has now stretched the difference to 24 points.
Hey, remember when the Kings led by 3? Yeah, I don't. Kings lost by 30 or trailed by 33, lost by 7,000. No, it was 119-99. Sacramento was awful last night. Clippers were good, giving them credit, sure. But another one of those games where as it's going, it wasn't getting better. The Kings didn't have any kind of real momentum, any kind of real big plays. Sure. Well, let's make an excuse that makes you feel better. Second night of a back-to-back. That's about it. That's all I got for you. Kings were outplayed. They got punked. Still a good team, doesn't change or diminish some of the things that they can do and have done and will do. But a couple things we're going to bring up today that are a little bit alarming to me. At 13-9 with 60 games to go, when they've been losing this year, they've lost kind of too many games for my liking handily. I mean, you want to have a chance to win every game. You're not going to win every game, but you want to be in competition. Maybe if you have a game like this, it's, well, 3 guys were out, schedule loss. Sure, you want to lump all those things in. Didn't feel like this was based on the schedule. Remember last week how much time they had off? They haven't been that busy. One of the thoughts was, well, last time they played the Clippers, it was the second night of a back-to-back. They had just beaten the Warriors. It was such an emotional night. I felt like that one they were walking into a difficult situation. Oh, and by the way, Keegan Murray wasn't playing. Well, second night of a back-to-back, sure. Wasn't that emotional of a game the night before. As far as wear and tear and stress, it was emotional in a way of how much fun it was because the Kings lit the beam, hit a franchise record 25 threes. Those were all good things. But you had Keegan back, short trip to L.A., not that, I mean, as far as the back-to-backs go, not that gruesome. Technically, you get an extra half hour because the game at 7:30, which shame on the Clippers for still doing that. I'm trying to make excuses for him. I'm trying to. I feel like it's empty, much like the Kings were last night. Didn't have it. Those do happen. I'm concerned that it's happened. I'm concerned also that they've lost to 4 teams. Clippers twice, Pelicans 3 times, Warriors twice, Rockets twice. Generally, one of the strengths of the team last year is, the second time they see him, they figured him out. They've cracked the code. I'm not liking this trend by the Sacramento Kings. Now, if you keep the sample of teams small that you lose to multiple times, in the end, they'll have a great win-loss record. But there are a lot of teams they haven't played yet. They're going to play a homestand coming up with 6 straight at home, but it's a difficult one, especially the back end of it. Need to get right. Need to start playing more consistently here.
I think they're just setting them up for the playoffs.
As far as the teams that they've played multiple times?
Yeah, just like, just let the Pelicans beat us.
Yeah,
let the Clippers beat us.
And then face them later and just smoke them.
Yep.
I like where you're going with that. That's where we're going to go. We're going to turn this into a positive. Last night, all Clippers. Will break down the game a little bit more, but they dominate the Kings 119-99. Cut 2.
Cut number 2.
Beal just picked up his 3rd foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul. And they're going to take a look at this. See Jason Goebel indicating they will go to the monitor here. Nurkic is down in a heap. Green just plows right over Nurkic. And we'll see if there's anything unnecessary added to it. Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be a flagrant.
Yep, for
and now they're going to just try to decide if they think it was excessive. It's going to be at least a flagrant 1, could be a 2.
Which would be an ejection. Boy, that is a swipe across the face. Number 2.
After video review, Green makes unnecessary and excessive contact to the face. The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2, and Green has been ejected from the game.
Yeah, right call.
Go back into the studio. I'm done now.
Right call. Draymond Green ejected. Very anxious for the league's ruling on this. All flagrant 2s are reviewed, so you got to see why they were ejected, and in this case, maybe rejected. We're going to hear from Draymond Green. We've got audio from him, Coach Kerr. This is a situation that continues to happen, right? We've said this before about Draymond Green, or really anybody. Generally, leagues and teams or anybody that creates a suspension or a penalty does that so you don't do an infraction again. Chris, he has been suspended so many times now, and we just had a lengthy one of 5 games that some thought should be more, some thought less. Not that long ago. He just got back, and then this happens. And now it's on to the league to decide what to do. And if we quote Joe Dumars and others that have kind of had to be the judge on this, they have cited the term past like past history has been involved in some of these things. Now we have very recent history.
And with so many of his punishments, he's gotten the benefit of the doubt time and time and time and time again.
Yeah. So like this on its own, I used this example last night of the post game with Henry Turner. I said, this on its own, let's just flip it. It didn't happen this way, but if same incident happened and it was Steph Curry, Steph's ejected. It's a flagrant 2. League looks at it. I think Steph plays the next game. Maybe fines him something.
At most a game.
At most. But it was like, wow, out of character, hasn't happened before. But yeah, you got to be on. You're gone tonight. Like that's not cool. We can't have that in our league. That's fine. And that's not favorable treatment. That's someone that hadn't done it before. Now you've got a multiple time infraction player. They got to do something. I don't even know what I mean, I've seen people like out for the season. I'm like, okay, I think that's too much. 20 games. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the arbiter of this, but it has to be something that stops him, and I don't know what would.
And you can tell how bad it was because even Warriors fans weren't defending him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like I was gonna tweet. I'm like, I just leave that one alone. But it's like, at least he's got dog in him. And like, really? Is that like because what? Because he did a cheap shot?
Yeah, there wasn't like well, you didn't see what Yusuf did right before then.
Yeah, it was funny because I literally saw the play kind of at the end of it and then looking at it and go, oh, what probably something led to this. Probably is what I was thinking. And there's never anything that happened. And we'll hear from Draymond. He'll try to explain himself out of this, but I don't think it'll work for him. We'll have much more on this throughout the show. Let's get cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
때렸습니다. 하늘 높이 담장을 향해 갑니다. 넘어갑니다. 이정우의 클래스.
Struck out?
How'd you guess?
Yeah. I'm really bad at translating that, but yeah, Jung-Hoo Lee signs with the San Francisco Giants.
Do you think he signed with the Giants because the Giants broadcasters are the closest that can get to the excitement that the Korean broadcasters have for a run?
Might be. Maybe John Miller's, is it Japanese impression of Vince Scully that he's done? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Giants were looking for, and we'll talk a little bit about this coming up too, Shohei Ohtani, obviously, and maybe they came in second. Maybe they came in third. It doesn't even matter in this case. They obviously didn't land him.
If I'm a team, I would have said, we've presented something very close to what the Dodgers did.
Of course. That was funny that came out yesterday. I'm like, who planted that seed? Giants. Either way, you could put that out there and make your fans feel better about that. But look, they are trying to add to their roster. They did that. Lee had a really good season. I think it was 2 years ago. He was the MVP. We'll see. Nice contract, 6-year deal to be a part of that Giants outfield. Certainly isn't Shohei Ohtani, but you got to build your team and continue to make progress. And San Francisco making some changes, certainly with Bob Melvin running the show now as the manager, and we'll see what they do in the rest of the offseason, adding to their personnel. All right, break time for us. Again, no Dave today. When we come back, you'll hear Dave a little bit. We had a conversation yesterday with Sean Salisbury. We're going to re-rack that, let you hear that, but still to come in this hour. We're also going to talk more about what the Giants have done and what they attempted to do. Certainly, we got to get into the Draymond Green situation last night as he loses it again. We'll go around the NBA, and we'll do our dive into the Kings. Again, I think more things are good, but there's some red flags out there that we really have to discuss and wonder if this is part of a bigger issue or if there's not much to see here. But we'll try to uncover that. We'll get your help on that as well. We got much more straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers have owned the NFC West this season, and they look to take out their division rival Arizona on Sunday.
It's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
The 49ers and Cardinals Sunday at 1 from Arizona on your home for 49ers football, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. This morning, fairly clear and chilly with temperatures in the 30s and areas of frost. We will warm up, though, with plenty of sunshine with daytime highs pushing into the lower 60s this afternoon and light winds. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think happy Honda days. There's no better time to visit Elk Grove Honda than during our year-end clearance sale in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Skid Row and Buck Cherry together. The Gang's All Here tour. With special guests, Stretch. This Saturday night, Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Skid Row, Buck Cherry, the Gang's All Here tour.
Subcontractors, grow your business with more leads and leverage your marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors to join our advertising co-op. For under $2,100 a month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. There's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, so lead potential is unlimited. Google Subcontractors United for more information.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day. Available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Good morning, John. It's Dave and Jason. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Thank you for the compliment. I
we're not a big pat on the back guy, but I can tell you this, that we would have put ours up against any of them. And while there's a lot of talented people, remember when John and I were doing it, we weren't fighting for any takes or clicks on, social media. It was just trying to do good TV and be honest. And yeah, I'll put it up against any that are going now. They're louder. They're more publicized now, but as arrogant as it may sound, and I sure don't mean it that way, I thought that John Clayton and I's 4 Downs was as quality as any of them, if not the best. I don't think you can outdo the original. That's just me.
It's not. I feel you being humble, but I don't think it's a debatable, no pun intended. I don't think it's debatable at all. It's better. It was better. You had the nerdy football expert that, everyone wanted to stuff in a trash can. You had the heated jock quarterback guy, the big man on campus. And then you had the little interplay between the two of you. But I always felt like beneath all that, Sean, beneath the fun, there was a hell of a lot of fantastic and very fair football analysis. And I just feel like a lot of these guys today grab their paycheck, yell at each other, and go home and avoid the mirror.
Yep.
I could look
and not held accountable for it.
Correct.
There's no doubt. And with John and I, we did not script it. I've said that to you before.
Yep.
We did talk. The whole essence of it was hardcore, get after it football, but also the undertone that people don't get. They saw the, man, were they faking this? There was no faking it. Is the love and respect that both him and I had for each other's preparation for that show every single time we did it. And with John, and make no mistake, that so-called nerd stuff at a trash can guy whooped my ass plenty of times on the air. So much love and respect, and it wasn't for anything other than how do we make this great television, but honest, without you telling me what I need to say to get the wrath of somebody on Twitter so it goes viral. That was never our intention, and we didn't have to worry about that, and nor did we have anybody tell us what to say. And it was just raw, real, and I don't know if we'll ever get that again because of the way the setup is. And neither one of us were making $12 million a year. So there you go.
Sean Salisbury joining us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Sean, each week in the NFL, our opinions change. That's what happens. You get new information after each week because of a team plays well, doesn't play well, guys get hurt, so on and so forth. So we saw another offering Sunday night of the Dallas Cowboys, and some of the narrative was, well, they haven't beaten anybody. Well, Sunday they did, and they did it well, and they stayed dominant at home. Dak's having a great year. Just your thoughts on where Dallas is now and how dangerous they might be.
I think they're extremely dangerous. I think they're so well coached on defense, guys. And it feels like there's a sense of, it felt to me at times last year offensively they labored. That even when there was a good play, that Dak labored over decisions, and that Kellen Moore was late. I want to be a head coach, so let me call this to be a head coach instead of call what's going to give us the best chance to succeed. And I think that even when they were successful, it felt forced, sometimes like leadership does when a guy isn't leadership. That offense felt like that. Now, Mike McCarthy feels like he's got him in a rhythm. They're doing a little bit of everything. Dak is playing loose and free. Guys, I know we hear that a lot, but I can't begin to tell you how important it is. There's a sense of removing clutter from your mind, whether that's the social media, the naysayers, the positive stuff. Just remove the clutter from your mind and focus. And quarterbacks more than anything, and we hear this cliche too, playing in the moment. You got no choice. You can't play anything but the moment, because 400 yards 2 quarters later and an interception means nobody cares about your 400 yards. A missed tackle in the second quarter, but 4 tackles, somebody else to clean it up for you. You can do that. So you don't get to hide behind anything as a quarterback. So I feel like they're more free. I feel like it's not one person that's making a difference each week. And we know their defense can cut it loose. Philadelphia looks pedestrian the last 2 weeks, although we know they're not. I still think the 3 best teams in the national football, in the NFC, 49ers are still to me, my favorite in the NFC. I love the way the Cowboys are playing. And I assure you, Philadelphia is going to start playing with some wrath and some anger, because they have looked a mere shell of themselves, but they'll get it going. They're still the 3 teams, but anybody that wants to question if the Cowboys are real, at least now, is not watching the same football we're watching. But I'll tell you what the question is going to do, and is going to happen, and is going to say, and what people are going to wonder, is this still a December a November, October type team, or can they do this in January? Can Dak do this in January? That's what you're waiting for. And we haven't seen it since the mid-'90s for them. We've talked about that. So all three are poised, those three teams with Purdy, Prescott, and Hurts in leadership at the quarterback position. All three have stars. All three have defenses that can disrupt at this time of year. And all three have playmakers outside the quarterback that can take over a game. The Cowboys are real. The question will be, are they real in January, and do they believe that?
Sean Salisbury with us. So when you look at Purdy and Prescott, their numbers are almost a wash. They're 50 yards apart passing. They both complete passes at about a 70% rate. Their quarterback rating is a 1/10 of a point off of each other. It's ridiculous how close they are. They have the one head-to-head matchup where the Niners obviously won. They're both 10-3. So I'll ask you, season ends today. Who's got your MVP vote?
I'm still leaning towards Purdy, but the crazy thing about it is, Dave, is that with you when you look at the numbers like I did and you just stated, isn't it going to come down to best player on number one seed?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, and it will literally come down. Let's say they're both like this and you get to the game 17 and they're both battling for home field advantage and one throws for 390, the other throws for 270. You know who's going to win it. Now I will tell you, here's how I do believe. I believe if the 50 voters today, I believe they vote. But when we got the LeBron winning them, okay, let's give it now. Now we got to lean towards, Giannis got his. He got a couple. Now it's Jokic's turn. The truth is you could have given it to Jokic again last year. And what'd they do? Joel Embiid got his, right? Didn't Embiid win it last year?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's fatigue, but we like to do that, even though somebody like Jokic could win it every year. LeBron could have won it every year and still could. So I think it's the same thing here. He's been taking criticism and some praise longer than Purdy has. And I feel like they'll say, after all he's done, been through the injury, the Cowboys, America's team, I believe that they would favor and give the MVP to Prescott, and rightfully so. I don't think you could argue if the season ended today that Prescott wins the MVP complete. And I do think that people feel like Purdy has a few more weapons on the offensive side, and he does.
Yeah,
Debo and Ayuk and
McCaffrey.
Kittle. And they're McCaffrey. They're loaded. So I would think it would go. I still lean Purdy, but I don't know how you can in a tough division as well. Both have other teams in the division, at least one that can beat you. That can compete with you. Philadelphia and Seattle's got their moments as well in the West. So for me, I'd lean towards Purdy, but right now I understand why Prescott will get it. And if it stays like this, I believe Prescott would win it because I think that there's that feeling of compassion of not that you're feeling sorry for him, but that the guy has taken a lot of flack and he's overcome it to be put in this situation, coordinator change, all that. Yeah, I would think that Prescott, if things continue the way they are and they're tied at the end and their numbers are equivalent, Prescott's going to win it. Although what Purdy's doing to me in 13 yards per attempt last week, it's nothing short of phenomenal. Either one of them can win it. I think they're the two front runners right now.
Sean, one thing league-wide want to ask you about, like we hear officials or heard the statement a lot, you could call holding on every play. They don't call holding on every play. Well, in the Chiefs game with the Bills, we get a neutral zone infraction where literally Tony was in the neutral zone area. But was that an official mistake? Do we blame that strictly on Tony? Should that have been called? Kind of your opinion on just that whole sequence that got some controversy.
Well, I'll ask you guys first, and then was he offsides?
He was.
Yeah.
Then that's a penalty. Yes. This isn't like, it was kind of, did they foul him or did they not? This is a controllable penalty. That's why it's all on the Chiefs. This had zero. And I know when people say, they didn't call it in the Miami-Pittsburgh game earlier in the year, what have you. Well, this ain't the Miami-Pittsburgh game. It's not the same officiating crew. They lined up. It's an important game. And for Mahomes to say, and we accept his apology, not that big a deal. He went off. He's passionate. I love the fact that he's passionate. But to say it had no bearing on the play, okay, great. But if you would have thrown an interception in the game and Buffalo would have been lined up a yard or a half a yard offsides, even though the player didn't have anything to do with the play, you would have said, wait a minute, we should get that back. So it just depends on what fan base you are and what player you're. Of course you didn't like it called. He lined up blatantly offsides. The side judge couldn't see the football, and it's on him because you have to ask You don't get that luxury with a holding penalty or a pass interference. Hey, let me know when I go up in midair. We're going to suspend ourselves, and I'll check with you if I'm allowed to grab it. Here, all you got to do is look at the sides and say, am I onside or offsides? And so you're a football player in the league. We learned this in the 5th grade. Check with the official. He'll tell you whether you're on or offside. It's on Kansas City. It's on other players for not checking Tony. It's on Tony for not doing it right. Yes, it was close, but a half yard or a foot, you're still offside. So all this, well, you can't call it. Yeah, you can, because if you score a touchdown like they did and then you were offside, well, it saves Buffalo. We're not going to get them all right. They're going to miss. And the refs are taking flack in some cases because they've had a rough year. They've had a rough couple years. But the fact is they got this one right. This is 100% unequivocal, no questions asked, the right call, and on Kansas City, not on the referees, not on Buffalo. And Kansas City needs to come to grips with the fact they lost, and they lost the touchdown because the receiver couldn't control a controllable penalty. Line up on side. It's 5th grade football IQ. That's on him and nobody else.
That's Sean Salisbury each and every Tuesday, just after 8 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports. Brother, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. Can't wait to talk more football and other stuff with you next week, as always.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you.
That is Sean Salisbury.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey there, listen up, Sacramento. Ready to make this holiday season unforgettable? Well, we've got something that'll have you jingling all the way. Picture this, a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $279 per month plus tax with no money down. No, I did not stutter. No money down. That's right. Zip, zero, nada. Elk Grove Kia is spreading the joy this Christmas, and we're making it easier than ever for you to drive home in style. So why wait? I will say it again. Head on down to Elk Grove Kia and drive home your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS today with absolutely no money down. Elk Grove Kia is your go-to destination for top-notch quality and unbeatable service. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or go to elkgrovekia.com. $279 plus tax, zero customer cash with signing residual of $10,000 per day, $250 days and 10K per year. Costs per mile over 0 security. Since enter 1 of the subject requires 7 months.
Elk Grove Kia.
This year, Staples wants everyone to have a happy Holla deal. That's right, Holla Deal. Staples Holla Deals are amazing savings on hot holiday tech. Great prices on laptops, game systems, earbuds, and more. And now at Staples, you can save up to $350 on select PCs. During Staples Holla Deals, it's not about the fa-la-la. It's about saving moo-la-la. Save up to $350 on select PCs today at Staples. Ends 12/23. In-store only. See associate for details.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com. Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back in. No Carmichael Dave with us today. That voice is still defeating him at this point. Jason Ross with you, Christopher Lott. We take you till 10. Styles and Watkins come in at the end of the show for a little crosstalk and celebrity birthdays. Big days today. We'll let you know that a little bit later in the show.
I think there's one today that we'll all get right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the biggest one of them all?
I would assume so.
Okay. There was one on there. There was two today. One I didn't put on purpose just because I didn't think, some days when there's like people probably go, who are you? But it's because the day's that thin. There was a person that I think you would know. I'm not sure those two guys would know, but actually really stunned me on the A. Like, it doesn't happen that often, so that one stunned me. And then there's the second one that is on there today that surprised me on the H as well. Like, usually I feel like I'm within a 5 to 8 year range. Like, if you start to get more than 10 years off, you're like, whoa. So there was two like that today, I think. Or one, I wasn't entirely sure, but I think my first reaction was like, whoa, that's their age? Okay. Did not know that. So that one will come. I think you'll know which one that is. If not, I'll identify that one later. Maybe
Okay, so you are going to ask the one that you think I know, but the other guys won't know.
Yeah, you know what? I might as well do that now.
Are we going to have movie birthday?
You know what? Because we had such good ones, I don't know that we did, but I know that's your wheelhouse. You want me to have movie birthday?
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm not telling you how to do your job.
Do you know? I think this is one, like, if I ask it, you may not know by name, but you're pretty good at some of this. So do you know who Wendy Malick is?
No.
Okay, then if I start to describe her, I didn't see this show, but it was that one with Betty White, like Hot in Cleveland or something.
Oh, yeah, I never watched that.
Just Shoot Me.
Never saw it.
I didn't see either of these either, but I've seen her. Well, I don't know if we can do this from afar. Let me see if I show you her face. Let's see. These aren't big enough images, but let me see. Can you see from there who that is? Or recognize her? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen her.
Yes.
Okay, just stab in the dark.
61.
Okay. I think, let me double check because I didn't write this one down. She's turning 73 today.
Whoa!
Exactly. I went, wait, what? I was thinking maybe early 60s, like you said, and then 73. So happy birthday. Coming up on the show, during one of our breaks, I was listening to the full Draymond Green postgame and wanted to cut it up for
Oh, my God.
What?
The movie that she's in.
That you know?
Yeah.
Is?
Scrooged.
See, there you go.
She plays Frank Cross's brother's girlfriend.
If I had only seen Scrooge,
or wife,
I would have said, "Oh, Chris, Scrooge. She's in Scrooged." But I listened to the entirety of the Draymond Green postgame and wanted to cut up clips, different things for you. I think we're going to run it completely full. You need to hear it. I want you to hear it. We'll react to it afterwards. That's going to come up a little bit later in the show, probably around 7:45. We do have clips of it too, but I want to play the whole thing just to hear thought process, his own analysis. There's some truth in there. I mean, I'll give him that for what that's worth.
The best lies have a little bit of truth in them.
True.
I know, as a world-class liar.
Yeah. Also, I've always been interested in people's own self-evaluation. Like their self-evaluation. Oh, I did that. Oh, the reason I did that was this, this, and this. They're just kind of reasoning to explain themselves. You'll hear Draymond Green. I'm not saying it's going to change your mind any way, shape, or form. I don't even want to frame it. We'll just let you hear it a little bit later in the show. So a couple things to get to here before we get to the top of the hour. We're going to get into the Kings. We're going to go around the NBA. Just a brutal night for Sacramento. But baseball, there's more and more being uncovered about Shohei Ohtani and this deal for the Dodgers. Like when it first happened, I think my first reaction is I kind of thought he was going to the Dodgers. The Dodgers got him. Then you hear $700 million over 10 years. Okay. I think that was stunning. Oh, man, the rich get richer. Then what I found was like the turning point for everybody. I know Dave was really upset about this yesterday, was the contract and how it was deferred and how team favorable it was. And let's get a little bit more. Here's a Dodgers reporter, David Vassa, talking about how the Dodgers did it.
People at ground level always know before stuff reaches high atop. And you got the vibe just from people in and around baseball that the Dodgers had an advantage. What gave you that impression from people you talked to?
Well, number one, they had the financial strength to be able to pull something off like this. Number two, I feel like everybody kind of lost sight of the fact that Ohtani's not just another player. He's not just a pitcher. He's not just a hitter. He's a business asset. That's the way these owners were looking at him.
All right, so that's kind of that, and you added more about the contract and really what type of deal it is.
You've heard people call Ohtani the unicorn on the field. He's now the unicorn off the field. This is one of one because of just how transcendent and unique of a player he is, a global brand. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know it's not exactly the same, but he's the LeBron James of Major League Baseball. He has 6 times as many followers on Instagram than the next closest guy, and Aaron Judge. He has 6 million followers. No other baseball player has that. No other baseball player has the reach. And oh, by the way, Jonas, the Dodgers are opening the season in Seoul, Korea. This makes 100% sense.
All right, one more here on Shohei.
Baseball-wise, it's a great fit for the Dodgers. When he is able to pitch again, they have the pitching depth to be able to not overwork him. And offensively, he fits in perfectly behind Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, and will be a huge force in the middle of that lineup.
All right, so we know the Dodgers landed him. There's some rationale and thought process of what they're getting and behind the move. When you don't get a guy that you're coveting, what is your damage control? Well, it came out yesterday that the San Francisco Giants, their front office said, we had a deal, if not equal, maybe even better, at least comparable to that. It doesn't matter. You could have said we had 7 times the deal, 15 times the deal.
I want to hear the team say, we weren't even close.
Yeah, I mean,
now that we find out what he's getting, it's kind of embarrassing what we offered him.
Yeah, I think the other report, and this might be true, I think the Giants, I can't confirm or deny whether these rumors are true or these reports, but said we came in with a really high offer right out of the get-go to really, maybe weed out some of these other teams that, look, everybody should have been interested in Shohei. How many teams was he truly interested in? Now, reading the report, what truly sounded more interesting to me and maybe even partially believable here is who the Giants had in there as representative. I know Buster Posey, Bob Melvin, some other people they had around. What they really wanted to do, Chris, according to reports, was take him around San Francisco in different areas and different spots and really showcase the city. And I'm sure they're going to highlight some great things. But I think there was a real fear from his camp that he'd be spotted and things get out. Now, again, how much of this is true? How much of it is not? That's not the reason why the Giants didn't get him.
Dude, you're like the tech center of the world.
Yeah.
You can figure out how to show him around without showing him around.
That and or, being secretive about it, keeping him out of sight. And in the end,
we've got this warehouse where we put an exact model of the city here for you to walk around in a virtual reality-like system.
Exactly. And, partly it's like, hey, wouldn't be entirely bad if he was spotted, I think. Maybe his group didn't want that, but if you're the Giants, it's like, yeah, let us know for sure. And your organization is serious. You did want him, but they lose out on him. And now they're going to try to regroup here. They offered the contract to Jung-Hoo Lee, who 6 years, $113 million deal. Certainly Not what you get in the unicorn of all unicorns and Shohei Ohtani, but that chase is over. The Dodgers land him. And like I said yesterday, the contract certainly might be favorable to LA. The talent will be favorable to LA. If he becomes a pitcher for them again, that's going to be super helpful. But I think in the end, for baseball, to get this kind of superstar in that, I say that market, I know he was in Orange County, but it's a different market with the Dodgers, that franchise, and the chance that this team could run off several World Series championships, I think is good for the sport. Now, if you're not a Dodger fan, totally get it. But I think that venom, if you don't like them, I think that kind of, you hate watch the Dodgers or you root against them. I don't know that that's entirely bad for the league. I don't think they need to have the Dodgers win every World Series. But if they become a team that raises the bar of some other high-level teams, or you have that underdog team that's trying to beat them, I think there's some draw to that still in sports, to have this team you're chasing, this villain team, or a super team that everybody either loves or hates. I don't think that's entirely bad for the sport. All right, when we come back, the night in the NBA, besides the Kings, because we got Kings conversation coming up. Jokic got tossed on Serbian Appreciation Night. OKC looks like they're getting a new arena, and Draymond Green loses it yet again. We react to that next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hovland of Hovland Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for the Chryslers Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
And what about those brand new Dodge Hornets everyone's talking about?
This month, you can lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT plug-in hybrid for only $199 a month for 27 months. That's over $5,500 in total savings.
Now's the best time to get the vehicle you need at Hoblet. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,500 total net savings after 10,261 factory rebates and 6,239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash. Must have purchased qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of eligible first responder association only. No payment for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 5,500 total net savings after 2,000 factory rebates and 3,500 dealer discount. 27-month lease with 3,995 due at signing plus tax and license fees on approved credit through Ally Financial. 7,500 max miles per year, 25 cents per mile for excess miles. 20 of each net savings.
Some might call me obsessed, but if you shop for holiday gifts at Kohl's, you get it. With their friends and family sale, I got 25% off already great deals, like 40% off comfy tech gear activewear. Then I saved 30% on Lego building sets, 30% on cozy Koolaburra by UGG bedding, and earn Kohl's cash. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious why I love Kohl's, and why you'll love it too. Select styles, Lego and Koolaburra by UGG. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. Offers end December 17th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, hour number 2 is here. We take you till 10. Then we have Styles and Watkins, the drive guys after that. Live and local, 6 to 6. Each and every day. That's the plan. Sometimes we have games that get in the way. There was a game that got in the way of everybody's evening last night. I was actually looking forward to last night's game. Kings and Clippers. I'm like, oh, let's go. Time to pay these guys back. Didn't quite happen that way. We've got G-Man highlights. What did it sound like on the Clipper radio network?
Into the front court, Norm on the far wing. Clippers trying to add to the 7-point lead. Corner 3, Norm Powell from downtown.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that
Read
call.
the room, dude.
That was one of the many things that went on in the NBA last night. The Kings game is a story here, certainly nationally. Not too much. Clippers playing better, that's for sure. They're now a half game behind the Kings at 12-10. Kings now, or excuse me, did they get to? Yeah, they're 13-10. Kings now 13-9, so 60 to go. Some red flags out there, I would say, that we're going to go over in this hour. The other things that happened in the NBA last night that have some talking points, we're saving the big one here for last, but this also happened in Chicago.
Jokic underneath, nearly got it to go. Vucevic the rebound.
I thought he was fouled too. He just let him know. Jokic's arguing with the officials down there. No rim protection.
Technical foul was called by Musa Dagger. KCP gets the shooting foul. I
saw Jokic. Jokic is talking the whole time down.
Yeah, I saw the official kind of point as if he was ejecting Jokic from the game. That can't be right, can it? Did he get ejected from the game?
Wow.
This happened against the Pistons a few weeks back as well for
Come
Denver.
On. Now listen.
Oh, that
terrible.
Seems,
that
doesn't seem
excessive.
fair at all.
That's excessive. That's excessive.
Yeah,
give the guy a tech. He should have got a tech. He should have got fouled. But to eject the guy, come on now.
The people didn't come to see the officials. Let's just be honest. They came to see the players. He's one of the players that people came to see. Give him a tech. He earns that. He's a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, but that's the Nuggets play-by-play guys calling that, so you can't take that for what it's worth.
Can't take it for what it's worth.
Wait, that was the Bulls broadcast?
Unbelievable. Ejected on Serbian Appreciation Night. That happened in Chicago. The Nuggets, by the way, the champs, ended up winning.
Here's what's tough, and I know we talk about Draymond all the time.
Yeah.
But we have seen him just flat out scream in a referee's face with nothing, and Jokic got kicked out.
Exactly. And Jokic even kind of said so much, like, man, other guys get away with much more. He couldn't believe he got ejected. But you mentioned him, Chris. Draymond Green basically ends up becoming the story of the night. I know we debated this even a few weeks ago, Dave and I. It's like, maybe at some point this is good for the league. I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, yes, you're getting attention. Every show that's on, it's their lead story. How long should the suspension be for Draymond? Draymond Green ejected for the third time this season. It's the lead story. We're talking about it. Look, the Kings got dragged yesterday in L.A., and I want to talk more about Draymond in some sense. Here's how it went down last night.
Beal just picked up his third foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul. And they're going to take a look at this. See Jason Goebel indicating they will go to the monitor here. Nurkic is down in a heap. Green just plows right over Nurkic. And we'll see if there's anything unnecessary added to it. Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be a flagrant.
Yeah,
and now they're going to just try to decide if they think it was excessive. It's going to be at least a flagrant 1, could be a 2.
Which would be an ejection. Boy, that is a swipe across the face. Number 2.
After video review, Green makes unnecessary and excessive contact to the face. The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2, and Green has been ejected from the game.
All right, and like we said, we've got the full press conference of Draymond Green coming up at about 7:45. That I think it's important for you to hear the entirety. Here is one portion of that. Draymond Green, I guess, explaining himself.
He was pulling my hip, and I was swinging away to settle the call. Made contact with him. As you know, I'm not one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to you, sir, because I didn't intend to hit him. I sell calls with my arms. I don't fall or to sell a call. I'm not a flopper. So I was just selling the call because he was grabbing me and pulling my hip back. So I spun away, and unfortunately I hit him. And so, like I said, I apologize to you, Seth, because I didn't intend to hit him.
All right. So
the lie detector determined that was a lie.
There's so much to pick apart there. And that clip was going around last night, social media. Then, I think there's I'm not that good of a puncher where I could, and then people would put the Jordan Poole clip up.
Like a full-on Superman punch right to the chin.
I mean, dropped him. You're a good puncher. You're a physical player. You're a good player. All things can be true. But he's become a nuisance to the team. Like, he is so talented. Draymond makes Steph and Clay and Wiggins and the whole roster better. They know it. This isn't about discrediting his value when he's on the floor, but this is what it's now becoming. I don't know how long the suspension can be. I can give my own opinion on what I think it might be or what it should be. I don't even know what the right answer is, what it should be. We had people on here saying, again, earlier in our chat, done for the season. I don't think that's going to happen. I can almost say for certain the number's not going to hit the note for anybody. Chris, if it's 5 games, not enough.
5. Oh, that's what he got last time.
Yeah. 10 games. Oh, that's not enough. He only doubled. You got to make it more. 20 games. Oh, that's a lot, but still not enough. I don't know what the number is. I don't know what will be done to stop him from doing. Okay, again, this going by his explanation, he was trying to sell a foul. Chris, you've played pickup, you've played basketball in high school, like competitive leagues to pickup. There's always players that you play with that you go, oh man, you're out of control. Like I'm out here right now just trying to get exercise, and you're undercutting or just doing stuff like that's just not cool. Draymond's played long enough to know kind of how the league works, how to play, and also smart enough to, okay, I can flail my arms a little bit and I might sell a call. This was so above and beyond that. I mean, the weird part is when I've seen it again and kind of go on his explanation, he kind of turns and he isn't even looking at Nurkic. But I mean, he gets him square and it's a clean shot. It's just dirty.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
it's like
dirty.
a whole just swipe at his head. You don't have to look at somebody to swipe at their head.
Right. Anybody that's played too, it's like, okay, I kind of know Chris is over there. I'm mad at Chris. He's going for a layup. Like, I kind of know what I have to do to make sure I foul you. Right? Like, I don't have to look at you. I can be like, oh, I just was in the wrong spot or I landed weird. No, I had intent.
Or you go through the ball.
Yeah.
Just go.
It's like, yeah, it was a hard foul. Well, the league is in a tricky spot here because, one, again, I don't think they can hit a number of games that's going to, not that they need to please fans, but the fans that are upset and frustrated and bothered by him feel good about it. But you also know what he has done in a positive way for the league. I mean, I don't think you're weighing that. That's not what happens here in this case. You are trying to stop this from your league. There was a time, it was great having Henry in here last night because Henry played in the 80s and 90s, and that probably was just a foul.
Yeah.
Now that's wrong. I mean, that was a better basketball then. It was different.
Because that was just a foul, then, the makeup foul is going to be even worse.
Well, that and what Henry said too, which I agree. And I think part of it, he's like, what Henry was really surprised about, he goes, nobody on the Suns got in the face of Draymond. Then we kind of rewatched it. I'm looking at it right now. Literally, Gordon is the closest one. He doesn't even see it. Like his back is to the play. This is down on the block. We even played the announcers. I think it was described. I don't blame Brian Anderson there, but he's like, oh, and Draymond runs through Nurkic. Like they didn't see it live. I think a lot of people didn't see it in the moment, but that felt like that could have really started a fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's what would have happened in an 80s or 90s game. And then maybe suspensions come after that. But, even right away, it's like, oh, they're going to review this. Like, to me, it was obvious he's out. We've had plays where they now call a flagrant on, I'm shooting a jump shot, Chris, your foot gets kind of in the neighborhood and I land and you don't give me landing space. It's a flagrant one. He had a direct contact to and violent contact to the face. Flagrant 2. Draymond, who we'll hear from later, agrees with that. But what will be next? He got tossed out of the game on November 11th against the Cavs. So November 11th. Last night was December 12th. The Gobert headlock was a couple days later, November 14th. Got a 5-game suspension. This is a flagrant 2, thrown out of this game. Last spring, stomping on Domantas Sabonis' chest. This is in the last 7 months.
And he had 3 months off.
Will there be more? Why would we think there wouldn't be? I think he's also fortunate that he has the resume that he had as far as success, being an all-star, a champion, a difference maker in this organization. He just signed a 4-year, $100 million deal.
Yeah, but how many of those games is he not getting paid for?
Right. It's a situation now. The Warriors knew what they got into. You get the sense that they're frustrated answering for him. We'll hear from Steve Kerr. We'll talk more about this. We got more on the Kings' disappointing loss when we come back, though. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. That is next.
The San Francisco 49ers have owned the NFC West this season, and they look to take out their division rival Arizona on Sunday.
It's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Cisco!
The 49ers and Cardinals Sunday at 1 from Arizona on your home for 49ers football, Sactown Sports.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, 3 for Madness time, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. 21 delicious flavors of wings and so much more to choose from. A lot of good selection there at Fire Wings. Just wing it. A reminder, again, coming up at 8, Katie Christensen joins us each and every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We'll get her thoughts on the brutal performance by the Sacramento Kings last night. She had to be there to see it all, and it's weird. In a 24-hour stretch, they looked so good at home against the Nets. Franchise-setting night. The very next night, after making all those threes, they missed 16 in a row at one point from beyond the arc and couldn't make a thing. So we got that with Katie at 9 o'clock. Niners at 9. And our 49ers insider, Emil Fergoso, will join us. So those are all coming your way, but it is time for 3 for Madness. 3 questions, 3 answers. Chris, what do you got?
How long should Draymond be suspended this time?
You know, the other thing someone pointed out, I think it was on our text line here, said, imagine, and this is actually an interesting way to look at it, if the last 2 infractions, so last night and the Gobert thing, were flipped. So last night happened first. So there's no, at that point, he got ejected from the Cavs game because of 2 technicals. Then if he has this Nurkic thing, you're like, oh man, flagrant 2, probably give him like a game or 2. Probably. Like generally, I think the general rule of thumb when a flagrant 2 has happened, the definitive thing is you're tossed out of that game. League looks at it, maybe a fine, maybe 1 more game. Maybe. That's a general rule of thumb, but I don't think there's a lot more other game suspension besides the flagrant 2.
If it was flipped, I think he would probably just get a game.
Yeah, on the Nurkic
Nurkic one.
But then
though I think he caused more damage
in the Nurkic one,
in the Nurkic than
like the violence of it was that. But then I also just saw on the screen like the replay of the Gobert thing, and so now when that's in your mind, then you just go.
You want to talk about like almost starting a riot?
He looks like he's actually a maniac in that one. Like I mean, his face and the way he comes in and like he's attacking Gobert. It was an interesting point. I mean, it didn't happen that way. The games aren't flipped. The question is how many games? I'm going to admit I don't know the answer to this because you are trying to make this not happen again. I think this situation was a tad unique, but that's irrelevant. I don't know that this exact thing will happen again, but you're trying to stop him and for him from whatever is next. Entangled on a post up. Okay, I didn't anticipate this exact thing. Oh, don't ever stomp on a guy's chest again. I don't think he will, but I'm also not predicting that. Oh, he's going to punch a teammate. I wouldn't have thought that would have happened. Don't go and choke somebody. Well, he's not going to. Oh wait, he did. Like I can't. Some things we just can't predict, and so now, Chris, it feels like everything is on the table. Like if you said he's going to go do this, oh, I don't think so. Well, yeah, he might. Like he's
going to pull a fork out of his sock and try and stab somebody.
No, he won't. I mean, so you're trying to prevent all that, and I don't know what this suspension would do. That if you say a fine, sure, games, yes. What's the number? What's the number to stop him? I think there's a fuse that there's like a flash. He snaps, and I think that's in him. So I don't know how you prevent that. Let's just say I'm not in Draymond's head. I don't know. Let's say since the Kings game when he was reinstated, I haven't watched every minute of every Kings game, but of every Warrior game. What if there's been 10 times in there and there's a window? He's like, man, I was going to go, or I was going to do that. I didn't. Because he didn't, we don't know. But this is what gets him. I just think it's really hard to predict. I wouldn't even know the games. Some here have said 20 at a minimum. I feel like there's a cop-out. I'm not sitting on the fence. I don't even know. I don't know what to do.
I feel like it will be more than 5 just because they're going to say, like, that 5 was the warning.
Yeah, because the act of itself, I'm with you. Again, we can't erase our memory. We know what's happened. I think this gives him maybe 1 game.
Yes.
Erasing everything else.
Even like if you talk about even the dirtier players in the NBA, like if Dylan Brooks does this, he's probably getting a game.
And the other example we gave earlier, if this was Steph Curry, a lone incident,
and that would
never
be
done this,
maybe a game.
Yeah, I don't think Steph gets a game. I think he got kicked out of the game for the incident.
The way that you're describing Draymond, it actually reminds me a lot of Luis Suarez, who famously bit an opponent twice in separate games.
Yeah, don't bite somebody. I won't. And then he does it again.
And I remember reading a story, and it was a psychologist talking about, because it's one of those things of just like, don't lose your cool, don't bite somebody. And he was saying, like, there's some people that there's a switch in their head that, like, the more you tell them not to do it, they almost like, not that they black out, but like just the first thing that comes to their head is like, do something insane to like try and win a game or try and stop something, to where it's almost like you can't help yourself.
Yeah. And that's the spot that the league is put in. How many conversations have they had with him? Has the team, it's not like,
well, then I also think that the Warriors, they've enabled him the entire time.
They're in a tough position.
He flat out knocked his teammate out.
Yeah.
And they're like, a couple preseason games, maybe just take a step away. Maybe, if that's okay with you.
And they got rid of the teammate.
Yes. He won.
They got rid of Jordan Poole. Now, there might be other reasons for that, but how does Draymond read that? I punched a guy that I didn't like or disagreed with, or a guy I didn't know. Maybe they were friends even before. I don't know. But he punched him.
I told you about him.
Right. And the teammate's gone. The Warriors know he's helped them win. The Warriors know he's hurting them as well. For the league, I'll just wait on that. I don't know. I can tell you this. The majority will not be happy, whatever the games are. Whatever it is.
Yes.
1 game, 3 games, 5 games. I'll just keep naming numbers. 10 games, 20 games, 25 games.
Well, then, like, there's going to be a point where the Warriors fans will start to go like, oh, this is ridiculous.
They're out to get us.
Yeah.
But last night, not good for the league, for Draymond Green, certainly. All right, cut number 2.
Question 2.
The Giants' offer to Shohei Ohtani was reportedly identical to the Dodgers. Should they have simply gone higher?
I don't think that was it. I mean, I think in the end, put yourself in the shoes of Shohei Ohtani. You're being coveted by probably every major league team. Let's just say every major league team's offer. Maybe some offered more years. Maybe some offered more money. But I think we can only speculate that it's all roughly in that 10-year range, roughly 600 to 800 million. Okay, what? 800 million. You offered more. The deferral seemed to be important, but I think, it's not about the money. Certainly it's about the money. It's also about opportunity. And what's the opportunity with the Dodgers? They have a chance to compete for a World Series every year. He'll have a chance. He just came from an organization where he had another great player around him. They didn't win enough. Shohei Ohtani watched the postseason all the time. I'm sure that was a factor. Now, he would have helped the Giants. There's no doubt. He'd help every team and maybe make them a difference maker. But the Dodgers already are there. And he's going to add on, if not be their best player at times, he's going to add on to a stacked roster. So I don't think it was about other offers, what other teams could have done. I think he was reportedly locked into the Dodgers pretty early. He listened to Toronto, listened to the Giants, probably listened to a few other teams, Cubs, whoever else was out there reportedly interested in him. But the Dodgers, in the end, had a lot of the things of not having to move, keep his team with him, the money, the deferral, the unique contract they offered. the opportunity, stay in LA, other financial opportunities there, and they got a really good team. So I think they had a lot of advantages already. All right, question number 3.
Question 3.
Devontae Adams said the Raiders 3-0 3-0 home loss was, quote, embarrassing. Will he be in Vegas next season?
Wasn't that the same quote Chris Watkins gave us?
His team won.
Embarrassing, and they won. You know what? I don't think he should be. Here's what I'm thinking about with the Raiders right now. I think this offseason, they need to go for it. And what go for it means to me is try to get to the number 1 pick. They can't now. They can't lose enough games to do that. But Chicago right now is slated to have the number 1 pick because they have Carolina's pick. That's likely going to stay that way. Chicago's in the decision-making process right now of Justin Fields or draft a quarterback. If the Raiders believe that Caleb Williams, and I don't know this, but if scouts are saying, like, if this is the guy to be the franchise quarterback of the future, go get him. And what are your chips? What are the ways to get him? Devontae Adams would move the needle. Max Crosby would move the needle. Jacobs would move the needle. Future draft, but you got it. What are your assets? You have some. Adams is a terrific one, and it doesn't have to necessarily be for this, but I think Devontae Adams needs to be moved to kind of start a rebrand, rehaul, revamp of this team. They've got some top 20 level talent players, really, in Jacobs and Crosby and in Adams, but not enough. They're not terrible. They're not great. And that's a really bad spot to be in the NFL. And you can turn it fast in the NFL. So if you get that franchise quarterback still on a rookie deal, build around them, I think that's what they should do. And Adams is one of the best pieces they can move. Adams is terrific. But do you want to just have him for the next couple of years and just middle around at 6 wins to 9 wins range and not be a real legitimate Super Bowl contender? Think they got to maybe get worse before they get better. And that's what I would do in Adams. It might come at his expense. Or for him, it might be better off if he ends up on a different team in a different trade in a better situation to showcase his skills. All right. That's 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. When we come back, what happened to the Kings last night? How long did you stick with that game? It was brutal. Clippers dominated Sacramento. We'll revisit, rehash, and react to the loss next.
The 49ers have secured their playoff berth, and now they chase the NFC's top seed.
Purdy out of the shotgun, looks left, throws end zone. Caught! George Kittle in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Check out all the 49ers games with Greg Papa and Tim Ryan
On your home for the playoff-bound 49ers. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Fedorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. This morning, fairly clear and chilly with temperatures in the 30s and areas of frost. We will warm up, though, with plenty of sunshine with daytime highs pushing into the lower 60s this afternoon and light winds. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's Kia's season of giving back at Folsom Lake Kia. Get low year-end prices and payments, plus low finance rates and even zero down deals with approved credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
We are toasting the new year in style with country star Tyler Rich at Gold Country Casino Resort. Special guest, the Chain Slack Band, will warm the crowd up. We're counting down to midnight with Tyler Rich. Get your tickets now at goldcountrycasino.com for the biggest New Year's Eve party around.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Mike Brown just leaning it back against the media table across the way, hands in pockets, just surveying. 4 drives. He's going to scoop and score with 8.8 seconds to go. It's 119-98. Clippers advance to the front court. The final seconds tick away. And remember the game last February that went double overtime? Perhaps the most exciting Kings game that I've ever had the pleasure of calling, when Sacramento ended up winning it, repeatedly coming from behind in regulation, in the first overtime, in the second overtime, the second highest scoring game in NBA history. Sacramento won at 176-175. I say, do you remember it? Because tonight had absolutely nothing close to the excitement that we experienced back in February.
Sad G-Man last night. Sad Kings fan. Sad Kings performance. As we welcome you back to the show, Jason Ross here with you. Carmichael Dave's voice still defeating him, much like the Kings defeated last night by the Clippers.
I was texting last night with someone saying, should I just not even turn on the game if they're on the second night of a back-to-back?
Yeah, so that's the puzzle, Chris. What'd they say? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 times they've been on the second night of a back-to-back. They've lost all 3. Okay. Early trend. The other one that's really bothering me is losing to 4 teams and 4 teams only. Now, again, that's can be looked at as a good thing. But in this case, when you get a second crack at a team, and it's still relatively, like when you lose badly to a team in November or December, and then you get them in March, like that other game is forgotten. Like there's no of the same kind of revenge or energy. And the Kings have had these 2 pod kind of scheduled games where they've been in Houston for 2 games. The first one was bad. You're like, oh, all right, happens, but wait till tonight. Kings are going to get them. And then that second game was worse. They had that with the Pelicans. The first game was really bad. Second game was better, but it was still a loss. They've now lost to them 3 times. They lost to the Warriors twice. They finally did beat them, but they lost to them twice. And now to the Clippers. And we said it earlier, like there was every opportunity with Keegan now playing, everybody healthy. Kings played great the night before. They were just awful last night.
This was from our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings have lost 9 games this season. Of those 9 losses, 4 have come by 18-plus points. 3 have come by 20-plus points.
Yeah, see that?
So, not even losing, just getting blown out.
Right. And you want to be in games. You want to have a comeback. Like there was no comeback in this game. And again, it was the way the first half was going. I'm like, oh boy, this is, the first quarter, where were they down? 8 points. All right. You're not out of the game. Then it got up to 20. I'm here in the studio going to Henry. I'm like, this is what's going on here. Like it's getting a little bit bothersome. You can do 20. They can come back still first half. And then it got to 30. Like 30, it feels like a chore. I mean, that's really a chore. Kings, I think, got it down to maybe 20, maybe 18. It just became a game that wasn't interesting, honestly. The breakdown feels less of, hey, if they would have done this, it would have been different. Or this. They got outplayed. They got punked. We played coaches' pregame interviews. G-Man always interviews assistant coach. The theme seemed to be make them feel you. Got to be physical. Weren't physical with the Clippers the last time. It was opposite. The Clippers bullied the Kings around. Kings certainly didn't make threes, and I've seen texts today, live by the three, die by the three. Yeah, they didn't make threes. They can still win a game when they don't make threes. That's not the sole reason why they lost. I thought their sharpness, their intentionality, effort gets thrown around too loosely, I think, and just when you play back, there's no effort. Yeah. There wasn't a zip to them. There wasn't like intentionality. Maybe we're talking about the same things. Maybe we're semantics here. But I get effort sometimes is like, they just didn't care. They didn't want to win. I don't know. They didn't have it. Clippers were better last night. De'Aaron Fox, most nights, is the best player on the floor. Fox had 14. I'm not really going to, put the loss on him, but he's a guy that, lives in that 30-point range. So you take 16 away, less of a chance to win. In his minutes, he wasn't as impactful, as controlling of the game. The bench got off to a slow start. The starters didn't do much. By the end, Sabonis had 15 and 10, got numbers. They didn't feel whole for the team. Just worked. Absolutely worked. And yes, things happen like this in the NBA. It's happening for me too many times by this Sacramento Kings team. And let's hear from Mike Brown after the game.
Obviously, we got our behinds kicked, and that's twice by this team that we have no answer. We had no answers. The thing that is most concerning is sometimes you just gotta fight, and I thought tonight we didn't fight. I thought there was no fight in us, and that's the biggest disappointment or biggest takeaway that I would say from this game. On top of the no fight, everybody knows we're a 3-point shooting team, but the reality of it is, if the threes aren't going in, and most of our threes I thought were good. The Clippers were going under, and we had a lot go in and out, and however you want to call it. But if the threes aren't going in, we got to figure out we got to figure out a way to get to the rim, get to the free throw line, because we're not going to always be able to rely on the three, and it showed tonight.
Yeah, outscored by 14 in the paint, so they could still get paint touches and paint scores. Fox is as good as anybody getting downhill, getting to the basket. Other guys can drive and create. Monk, has been sensational. It's just everybody was off. And the fight, I think, is a good description. It's just, you got to compete. You got to show the other team that you're there, that you're in for the fight, that you're going to make them work to get the game. And it felt like once the Kings were down, they folded last night. And that hasn't always been the case. It showed up a little bit more this year, and I don't like that. I don't like that look, and it's not of an 82. To me, I think it's too easy and convenient to say, it happens. Because it does, but I think when you're want to be, what if I'm going to go on the words of what the coaching staff and what the organization is saying. They want to be great. You want to go from good to great. Great teams can have nights like last night. They do. But a night in a season of 82, maybe you have 4 to 5. I feel like the Kings have had 4 or 5 already in 22 games.
And it's one of those things of after you see it, it's like, you don't want to play them.
Yeah, we won't see that again. And if you do from the great team, like the contending teams, months. Like just a clunker. And then that one might make sense. You're like, you know what? It was 4 games in 5 nights. One guy was out. Like, yeah, this makes sense. I can't make sense
Like
of the
if,
loss.
I'm trying
like
to think
this.
of if back when the Kings are bad, if you saw the Warriors the game before the Kings lose a game like that, you're like, oh God,
I
now they're
know.
going to come in here ticked off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, would you rather have the team that's good that's like on a 9-game win streak? You're like, yeah, they're probably due to lose. But if that team that's really good and they just lost, you're like, schedule loss now because this team is heated and is going to want to get back. And the Kings might be that team Thursday, but you don't want to constantly keep getting these reminders of, hey, you guys can be good. You are good. Go prove it. And last night, disappointing on so many levels. Tough to watch. And like I said, we're only 22 games into the season. And unfortunately, we've had this far too many times. All right, before we break, let's check in with Tin. Tin, good morning.
Good morning, Jason and Chris Ballot. I have a question for everyone listening. So what do you guys think is tougher for sports athletes? NBA players going on a back-to-back 2 nights, or NFL players on a short week? They play on a Sunday, let's say Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon game, and then they have to, turn around and play like a Thursday night football or something like this.
Yeah, and thank you, Tin. I think the answer is the NFL players. Thursday, short week.
Yeah.
Almost all of them complain, and literally some can't play.
And when you hear players talk about like the day after a game, they're like, oh, it feels like you're in a car crash.
Yeah, and so then you have less days to prepare. It's like getting ready for Sunday is kind of the theme of the week. And when you've got days cut short to get ready, I think that's far more difficult. I don't want to take back-to-backs lightly in the NBA, but of the choices, Tin, for sure, it's the NFL players on a short week. All right, when we come back, we will have more Kings coming up. A reminder, at 8 o'clock, Katie Christensen will join us. I promised the audio of Draymond Green. It's his full post-game presser. I think it's worth a listen for you all. We'll hear from Draymond and his reaction. Also, right now, 339-1140, 916-339-1140, or 1-800-920-1140. There was a Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you can identify that, at least it was early, but if you stay with that game, you truly are a Kings fan. But our Jiffy Lube drive of the game, will unveil that as well when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor car track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf Digest Sins of Slow Play suggests precious time is wasted waiting for your turn to hit. If you're on the other side of the fairway, you can take your practice swing while someone else is playing their shot. And if you're walking, when you get to the green, leave your bag closest to the next tee box. Golf is social, but tell your great story while you're walking the fairways and not on the tee box or putting green.
Next, don't be delusional. If there's only a remote chance of reaching the green or clearing a hazard, just lay up. The group behind you will love you for it. If you have to take a call, move away, and maybe even sacrifice your involvement in the hole to keep things moving. And last is not hitting the ball. PGA Pro Mike Bender wrote golf's 8-second secret and argues that the time from when you set your lead foot, step over the ball, and swing to finish should take 8 seconds, but most take twice that long with practice swings, waggles, and whatnot. For a bogey golfer, that's an extra 12 minutes times 4 golfers. Remember, golf is a game. Have some fun, but do it expeditiously. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaBrosa.
Yep, 'tis the season. Hi, if you're like me, you take pride in your gift giving. Well, I've got a terrific idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift free from the Good Feet store. If you have someone on your list who's on their feet all day, has sore feet, knee, hip, or back pain, or even plantar fasciitis, maybe needs an energy boost, or just wants to maintain their active lifestyle, a Good Feet Arch Support gift card could be the perfect gift.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and you just kind of tell what it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, it's 7:45. You know what that means. After every Kings game, your chance to win a Jiffy Lube, a $100 gift certificate. All you have to do right now is call in at 1-800-920-1140 or 339-1140 and identify last night's Jiffy Lube drive of the game. Phone lines are open, and you can tell us what was described by the G-Man as the drive of the game last night between the Kings and the Clippers. So, again, hit that phone lines at 916-339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. All right, the big story in the NBA last night is coming from the Warriors game and Draymond Green. So, the incident happened late in the or was in the was that in the first half? No, it was early second half, where Draymond Green was spinning on Yusuf Nurkic, flailing his arms, and had, I don't even know how to describe it. I wouldn't call it a classic punch in the definition of balling your fist, turning up, squaring on a guy and punching him, but it was a violent backhand arm direct smash to the face. I mean, there was good contact there. And so Draymond Green, they evaluated the play. They looked at it, gave him a flagrant 2, tossed out of the game. Now it's in the league's hands. And I told you it was going to cut up some audio of Draymond Green's post-game reaction, and we played some earlier, but I also thought it would be fair to hear the entirety of it, just to get your thoughts and feel and reaction to it. It's about 4 minutes or so here. Here was Draymond Green with the media post-game last night.
He was pulling my hip, and I was swinging away to sell the call. Made contact with him. As you know, I'm not one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to you, sir, because I didn't intend to hit him. I sell calls with my arms. I don't fall or to sell a call. I'm not a flopper. So I was just selling the call because he was grabbing me and pulling my hip back. So I spun away, and unfortunately I hit him. And so, like I said, I apologize to you, Seth, because I didn't intend to hit him. Yeah.
How did it look to you on the replay?
I mean, as I've said before, any replay, if I go look at every replay of everything, a replay it's never going to look good, but like I said, I know my intentions. My intentions were to sell the call. And I also don't think I'm an accurate enough puncher to do a full 360 and connect with someone. So it's unfortunate.
Last time when you got suspended a couple weeks ago, they said that there was a history of unsportsmanlike acts was a factor in your suspension. Do you anticipate that happening again?
I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I know what my intentions were, and that's really all I can speak on.
After the last, so you talked about how important it was to be there for your teammates, and Steve made a point today saying they need you to win games.
I'm aware. And like I said, if I intended to do that, then I'd feel awful about not being there. But my intentions were just to sell the foul. And he was, as you can see, as I'm posting up, he's moving forward. So as I'm moving back, he's still coming forward. And like I said, it's unfortunate. I apologize to Nurkic because I hit him. So I do apologize to him, and I didn't intend to hit him. So I think you guys have known me long enough. If I intended to do something, I'm not apologizing for it. But I did make contact with him, so I apologize because it wasn't my intention.
Do you think you deserved the flagrant 2, or is that quite
It's a hard hit, So if you listen to the definition of a flagrant 2, it's an excessive hit, So I can't argue that it was a flagrant 2 because I did make contact, So now, as I said, my intent wasn't to make contact. So if that's a part of the definition, then I know for sure it wasn't, but I made contact, and it was hard contact. So I think the flagrant 2 was warranted. It's a hit above the neck, or at least I think the neck, or somewhere over here, and it's hard contact. So that would meet the definition for sure of a flagrant 2. But as I said, it wasn't my intention to make that contact, any contact at all, really. Like I said, I was spinning away and trying to sell the foul. But, yeah, I think it definitely meets, the definition for sure. But my intent wasn't to hit him.
I understand you said the intent wasn't there, but with this team's small margin for error, where you are now a third into the season, do you think there needs to be some sort of alteration to how you approach these situations to not put the team in a situation where you may not be available?
Yeah, but that's not that situation. That situation is me trying to sell a foul call. So on most situations, yes, I'd agree with you. Can't put the team in a bad spot. But I didn't intend to put the team in a bad spot. I intended to get a foul. And I made contact with them. So, yes, in most situations, and, to Steve's point, of course, I need to be there for us to win. I understand that, which is why I haven't been arguing with refs since I've been back. I haven't done any of those things because I do understand that. I haven't gotten into it with any players since I've been back because I do understand that. Unfortunately, bad luck. Trying to draw a foul and I made contact with them. But this ain't those same things. I'll be the first to tell you anytime I intend to do something, anytime something was wrong, the turnout was wrong, but that wasn't my intention. So, yes, to answer your question, but I haven't changed my approach on how I approach things.
All right. Draymond Green. I wanted to play that, wanted you guys to hear it, and boy, did we get feedback on that.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Yeah, there is a lot to unpack there from Draymond Green. So there's just
the only way that works is if we've never seen him play before.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to word it because we have. And I mean, trying to get, let's just even jump down the road, Christopher. We're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't, it's always a interesting phrasing when you say, well, that wasn't my intention. Well, I didn't intend to hurt anybody's feelings. Well, but you did. I didn't intend to hit him in the face. You did.
Yeah, and there's like an ownership to it. It's just like, that's the one. I didn't mean to. If you were offended, I'm sorry.
Right. Well, they were offended. So you can't, that may not have been your intent. And you may have come from what you think was a good place. You weren't in a good place.
Also, I will give this a little free advice. If you're in that situation, you come up with that. Don't say that. What you should be saying is, I wasn't thinking when I made that statement.
Right.
you were hurt by it. I am sorry for that.
Fully aware of that now or whatever. Like, it's just.
But like when he says that he apologizes to Yusuf, is he just saying like, oh, I'm sorry to Yusuf? Or did he go and say something to him?
Yeah, good point on that. Also, I only apologize for things I didn't intend to. So he says he didn't intend to do this, so I apologize for it. I don't believe there was an apology to Sabonis.
No.
So he meant to.
But he was just trying to get his foot loose.
I had nowhere to land. And I don't just flop to you know, you guys know me. I don't just flop and sell. I was trying to sell a call, but I don't just flop. They had a game here, just the game he came back, where Lyles and him were in the corner, and Lyles went high elbow, and Draymond went back and laid on the ground on the court for a while. And I'm like,
grabbing his chin.
So it worked on me. I remember seeing it, not live, but I saw Draymond down. I go, oh, Lyles, I'm sure got him. Then they show the replay. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good for a lot. Oh, he didn't hit him. And the whole place go, oh, he was laying there like he got, like what he did to Nurkic. So the part that's really rough in this to me is the Warriors. Not rough. They chose this. That's not the right thing to say. They chose this path. They chose Draymond Green. They know what he's done. They know his value to the team. It's got to be on the floor to have all that value. They just signed him to a 4-year, $100 million deal. And I could tell he got into a little thing here in the game against the Kings when I think who was he mocking? I think it was Malik Monk, and he kept doing like this exaggerated carry call. All right, you did like, I think you can get away with it, like, oh, that's a carry, maybe twice. Like he went like 8 times, and the ref's like, all right, T. And then he's like talking to Steph, and again, I'm trying to interpret, but Steph looked like, I know, just stop. And so when you get a player that's like frustrated with you, tired of you, but also knows what you mean to the team, the Warriors made this bed. They've got to sleep in it. And we're now waiting to see what the league will do suspension-wise for Draymond Green. We'll have more reaction to that. By the way, we had a winner of our Jiffy Lube drive. Who was it, Chris?
Bobby.
Bobby got the win because Bobby, he was listening early. Good for you, Bobby. Bobby identified this.
Herter races up the floor, puts on the brakes at the three-point arc, and then feeds a pass into Sabonis. Backdoor cut. Keegan reverse. Beautifully executed. Oh, what a superb pass that was from Domantas Sabonis. And a beautifully timed left baseline cut coming from Keegan Murray. That's going to be your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. You're listening to Carmichael Dave Show along with Jason Ross tomorrow morning at 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby, for checking in, calling in, identify that play. You have won that Jiffy Lube $100 gift certificate. It pays to listen in, boy, it was painful to listen to the entirety of that Kings game just because of their performance. We'll get more reaction to that with the television analyst, Katie Christensen, who was on the call for that as well. She joins us for her weekly appearance. That is next on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard. Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found the Brooks Night Guard. You mold it at home to the top or bottom teeth. Other mouth guards go all the way to the back, which allows the back teeth to touch. This is where most of the grinding and clenching occurs. The Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Order your Brooks Night Guard today and get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to brooksnightguard.com and enter the code Brooks91. That's BRUX91. Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
It's Kia's season of giving back at Folsom Lake Kia. Get low year-end prices and payments, plus low finance rates and even zero down deals with approved credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Fedorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. This morning, fairly clear and chilly with temperatures in the 30s and areas of frost. We will warm up, though, with plenty of sunshine with daytime highs pushing into the lower 60s this afternoon and light winds. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip. Brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Here's Kawhi Leonard muscling his way from the right baseline. And you might as well start warming up the jet because the Kings, they're hoping they can make a run and maybe get back in this ball game and make a murmur. But Kawhi Leonard, with an answer there, will have a three-point opportunity. He's now stretched the difference to 24 points.
That was the G-Man last night. It was a tough one for our broadcasting crew. Look, they love their jobs, get the chance to watch the best athletes in the world. And 2 nights ago, man, everybody's having fun. Kings having a 3-point party at Golden One Center the very next night down in Los Angeles last night. All Clippers. Kings got punked 119-99. Jason Ross here with you. Carmichael Dave still out battling that sickness and that voice issues. But Katie Christensen joining us each and every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, the Kings television analyst. Katie, good morning.
Good morning, J. Ross. Geez, I didn't know that we could take sick days here.
Yeah, no, good point. Look, you're battling. Everybody's battling, right?
Battling for sure.
Yeah. I commend you. Look, it's obviously more fun when the Kings win, play well, or even if you get an entertaining game down to the wire. I was with you last night. I heard some of your analysis during the game. Like, look, some nights the schedule gets you. I didn't feel like that was it. That's what you said last night. They just got completely outplayed. And look, I still think in the big picture, Katie, this is a good team. But to me, this happened a few too many times this early in the season for this team. What do you think's going on there?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of discern what's going on when you look at their wins versus their losses. Their losses, too many of them come in by major deficits, right? And this is not something that we're accustomed to with this team. And second night of a back-to-back, both teams playing one. We've gotten the Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back twice, and both times just really haven't come out with the requisite amount of energy and physicality. And to me, the biggest thing was the physicality. I think that from the beginning that it was really the Clippers that were playing forceful and getting up into space. And it felt like every bucket that the Kings got early in that game, they had to work so hard for. And it's something that we know about this team in terms of their identity. The 3-point shot and their ability to make it is such a huge part of their offense. And the big question is, when that shot's not falling, how do you respond? What do you do? How do you create offense and the ability to score when that major piece is not working for you that given night? And we just haven't seen them figure out a solution to it early in the season. But it's not just a physicality thing. I thought it was very much an energy thing. And as a team, you play half your games on the road, and the Kings played really well on the road last season. You have to come up with a way to manufacture your own energy. And they just, at no point in the game did they figure out a way to up that tempo, that energy, and create some kind of a flow for themselves. So it is a bit troubling that their losses are coming by such huge deficits.
Yeah, I feel like you can really get that energy, obviously, with you do what you do well. So if they're hitting a bunch of threes, that's going to just naturally give you some feel good. That wasn't happening, to your point. So what are the other ways? Getting to the line, scoring in the paint, or defense. And I think last night, when you're missing the energy and you're not getting stops, I feel like that's how it snowballed to whatever they were down 30-something points.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, defensively, and we've seen this with this team. This is, and I don't think this is, unique to the Kings. When you have offensive teams that have so much firepower, they create a lot of their defensive intensity off of the flow of their offense and hitting shots and getting back and being able to set your offense. But it cannot be that way for you to survive an 82-game season in this league and get to where the Kings want to get. They have to be able to use their defense to get their offense going. And it's just, they got punked last night, and it just continued to snowball. There was never a period of time where it felt like they were going to be able to inch their way back in. And, it was, to be fair, it was pretty much everyone that stepped on the floor.
Yeah.
So, I'm really curious how they respond tomorrow against a very good Oklahoma City team. And that's the thing. It's like this team has beaten teams that are ahead of them in the standings. They have struggled with teams below them in the standings. And in the Western Conference, there's so much parity in particular that, you have to show up every night. And I have no doubt that being on their home floor, playing the Thunder, who they've played well this season, they beat them without De'Aaron Fox. You look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that is just one of the best guards in the entire league. And this is a very good young team, very much like the Kings in that way. And so I know they're going to come back and respond. But the bigger question, of course, is how do they avoid these games where they dig themselves a massive hole early on, and then they're expending so much energy to try and dig themselves out. You just cannot play a full NBA schedule in that manner.
Katie Christensen joining us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Katie, yeah, you're right. If you look at the teams right now, the top six, the Kings would be fifth, but Lakers 2-0 against them, beat Denver, beat Dallas, beat OKC, beat Minnesota. That's a perfect 6-0 against that group. And all their losses now are to 4 teams, 2 to the Clippers, 2 to the Warriors, 2 to the Rockets, 3 to the Pelicans. Generally, you see a team a second time relatively closely. You adjust, you figure it out, you beat them. How concerning is it that they're having trouble with the same teams?
Well, and the reality is how many of those came on the road? The 2 against Houston were on the road. The two of the 3 against the Pelicans were on the road. I believe one of them was on the road against the Warriors. Yep. And so, again, this is kind of, every season has a different feel to it, right? The Kings were a better team on the road last year than they were at home, which is a massive feat. And it's a great thing to be able to have when you look at the bigger picture of playoffs and so on and so forth. But you got to take care of home court advantage too. But, I look at the New Orleans series, the 3 games that we've had against them, and we got them 2 more times. They're a team that we do not match up well against. And so you can understand it to a certain degree. What I don't understand is because of the talent of this Kings roster, I don't understand blowouts. I don't understand blowouts. And you had blowouts to Houston, had blowouts to New Orleans. It's just and obviously the Clippers last night. It's just something that is really puzzling me. And I think the big thing, it's really 2 issues, right? It's their ability to hit threes and their physicality on the defensive end. And they have to figure out a solution to how they can play physically more consistently. But when you're not hitting your threes, what is the answer? How do you do it? You can't rely on De'Aaron Fox to get 40 every night and go to the free throw line 15 times. It has to be coming from other guys on that roster. And in the losses, we're not seeing people step up.
The physicality part, Katie, is that something that has to be in you? I know it could be coached and pushed and prodded, but do you think they have enough of that just innately? Like, look, they got shooters, we know that, but do they have enough of that just presently on the roster, that physical nature?
That's a really good question, J. Ross. I mean, I think that some people have it in them, and I think a lot of people actually have to have it instilled in them. Yeah. And so I think that's what Mike Brown and Jordi Fernandez are trying to do, is to instill that physical nature into them. But in the end, you can only coach so much, and then it's on the players collectively. It's a little bit harder sometimes on the road because you might not have the advantage in terms of fouling situations. The whistle may not be as friendly on the road. But here's one thing I know: 1 or 2 guys can't do it, because then you are going to get called for fouls more frequently. But when all 5 guys on the floor are playing physical consistently, the game is going to be called a different way. And so it's got to be where you collectively come together as a unit, not with the coaching staff in your ear, but the guys on the floor, and say, okay, enough of this. We have to do this. We have to do that. And we're going to go out there and we're going to give it our all. And we're going to be as physical as we possibly can. And if we get foul calls, we get foul calls. We'll adjust. You can adjust your physicality down, but it's really hard when you come out and you're just kind of playing soft to be like, okay, let's pick it up a notch now, because you haven't started that way and the game has kind of established a flow to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And now I look at what is ahead, a 6-game homestand. I think everybody gets excited about that. You look at the opponents, there's some whoppers coming through here. And Katie, the way the West is, and I think the way it'll be all year, a good homestand, Kings could be maybe the 2 seed by the end of this. A bad one, they could be 11th. I mean, this, I'm not saying it's deciding the season, but it feels like an important 6 games ahead for Sacramento.
It is critical 6 games, because when you look at the month of January alone, day after Christmas, they play in Portland, then they go to Atlanta, and then you're going to start seeing some East Coast teams in this. You play Atlanta, then you're New Year's Eve in Memphis, and you look at the month of January, and you've got a 5-game road trip, and then you come home, I think, for a couple, and then you have a 7-game road trip. Wow. Most of the month of January, the Kings are on the road. That's why when you look at this particular homestand, it's so critical, because the Kings have not been as good on the road this year. So you cannot start falling behind, where you allow the schedule to get you and think that at any point in the season you're just going to be able to switch it on and catch back up, because it's brutal. I mean, you look at every team's schedule is brutal. I was looking at Indiana's schedule the other day, and it's like, wow, like, how they end the season. Orlando ends the season. They're playing phenomenally, right? And I think that they're kind of under the radar for a lot of people in the league. And they're almost a little bit like the Kings were last year, where they were not good the previous season. And then now this season, they're, in the top of the standings in the Eastern Conference. They're beating big teams and, Milwaukee and Boston and Denver, and they are just rolling through people. But you look at their schedule at the end of the season, it's like 5 of their last 7 are on the road, and 2 of those are their last home games against Milwaukee, and one of the road games is against Milwaukee. So the NBA, the parity in the league right now, I think for even the Eastern Conference, is just mind-blowing. That's why you have to really break the season up and say, hey, this homestand right now is so important, because we're about to go on the road, and that's a whole different beast that you're dealing with. So you kind of got to get your mind right here and start making some adjustments. And I'm curious as to how Mike Brown is going to, approach this, because we do know, I thought the group that came in at the end played well. They came in, they had energy, they played hard. Kessler Edwards, you had Chris Duarte, who got some time, and I thought he played well in the limited minutes that he got. And he was in the starting lineup for a while, and he's kind of fallen out of the rotation. But we know that Mike Brown switches things up based on, who's playing with the energy, the effort, and the defensive intensity that he is demanding out of people. So I'm curious to see, what does the rotation look like tomorrow after blowout loss? And the end score of that game is not indicative to what that game was. Yeah. It was an embarrassment on many levels.
As we head out, I got to get you out on this one. As a former athlete, certainly an analyst still in this league, Draymond, you saw the scenario by now. Just would love to get your thoughts on what the league does here. We've been asked the question, how many? I have no idea what they're going to do. What do you think the league will do with this?
God, it's so frustrating, because listen, obviously there's a thing with the Warriors and the Kings, understandably. And that's one of the things that is great about sports, is these rivalries. And I'm all about it. I'm not going to bash Warrior fans. I'm not going to bash people that have been defending him up to this point. I look at it from the player perspective, in that I cannot believe that he continues to put his team and his coaches in this situation over and over and over again, because he is, as a grown man, incapable of controlling his emotions. But I also know, just like with my toddler, that when they have outbursts and tantrums, which is what I equate how Draymond is behaving on the floor, if you enable him, it's going to continue.
Yeah.
And to me personally, I feel like he's been enabled by the organization. I feel like he's been enabled by the league. I feel like they've tried to come down on him with the 5-game suspension, and the suspension in the playoffs with Domas stomping on his chest, which I think a 1-game suspension there is a ridiculous joke, because if that happened on the street, it would be a much different thing than if it happened on a basketball court. And you have to start differentiating between what is acceptable in a sports setting and what is acceptable in a societal setting. And, they have said time and time again with every suspension that they hand down to Draymond, that his past actions are being factored in to the punishment. So not only does his suspension, in my mind, need to really reflect the seriousness of his escalating behavior, Jason, but they need to get him in anger management. They need to make some requirements. You see what's going on with John Morant. They have markers that he has to meet. He's had to go through a lot of things off the court to earn his spot back on the court. And Draymond needs to be treated the exact same way. And there needs to be a severity, like the seriousness of this suspension needs to be really taken into consideration by the league, because he has shown that his punishments and escalating punishments in the past are making absolutely zero impact on his behavior on the floor. So to me, it's up to the league and the organization to finally say, listen, enough is enough, or you're going to be facing a long season impacting suspension. And so, I think the league needs to take it into consideration of the message that they're sending, but also, like Nurk said after the game, he needs help.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly about the enabling part. I mean, I don't know that I feel for the Warriors organization because they chose this, right? They could have not signed him. They know what he's meant to them.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the teammates because playing with someone like that, it puts you in a terrible position because you have to defend him to a certain degree because you got to keep your team united. But tell me any player on that team that thinks that behavior is okay. And then, you know what? I'm going to question them as a human being.
Right. And the part too, Katie, that I was saying earlier that's so hard is like it's not the same thing. Now it's revolved around anger and / violence, but I mean, I wouldn't have predicted he would have stomped on Sabonis's chest. I wouldn't have predicted that he would run across the court and choke Rudy Gobert. I wouldn't have predicted that he's, flailing his arms and he backhands someone in the face. Like these are things like, hey, don't do that again. Well, he may not do that exact thing, but it's something that's still revolved around. Yeah, exactly. That's revolved around anger, violence, hurting someone else. And fortunately, someone hasn't really been hurt, but that could happen. And we can't wait for that.
No, and that's not basketball.
Right.
And, I hate it because my 10-year-old stepson watches every single NBA game that he can, get his hands on. And there's so many kids out there. And to me, that I think as a mom, it has really changed my perspective on things. This is what we're showing kids is okay, and I swear to God, I'm so sick and tired of reading comments by Warriors fans. And listen, I don't care what team he played on, who it is. Stop defending him. Stop defending this behavior. This is not funny. This is not street ball at the YMCA or out on the street corner. This is serious. These are grown men that are massive individuals, and you're enabling him by making these funny comments and supporting his behavior and thinking that it's okay. I don't care what jersey he wears. Step out of your loyalty to the team that you root for a second. And if it happened to your team, if someone smacked Draymond in the face like that, you'd have an issue with it. But for whatever reason, some people are incapable of seeing it from the other side. And so again, it's this perpetuating this enabling environment for him. And look where it's getting him. It's not moving in the right direction. That's why the league needs to step in and truly consider a punishment and a solution that is going to put an end to this instead of, like you said, it's just going to be another form of violence in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Katie, we appreciate your insight as always. Hopefully next Wednesday we're talking about a very successful homestand or in the middle of that. We'll see you out at the arena tomorrow night.
All right, Jay Ross, have a good one.
All right, thank you. I was glad I was able to ask Katie about that too, because I know she'd have an opinion and a take as a former athlete. And even mom, a broadcaster, just all her roles there, and just it's a real puzzler for a lot of people. But you really got to try to cut this off. I got to thank my brother for sending me this on my personal text here because we had some people here saying 20 games. Let's say the suspension is 20 games for Draymond. Let's just pretend that is. Guess who they would play in game 21? Right here. Sacramento, Golden One Center would be his return.
Rigged.
Wow. I don't know what the case will be. If we find out anything about that, we certainly will let you know. But the league office certainly looking into that. All right, let's check in with back to the phone lines here. Jeremy's got a thought on the Kings. What's up, Jeremy?
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear.
Hey, awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on the Kings, and I guess I'll also just add about Draymond. I mean, I agree. I think that the players on the Warriors, especially somebody like Steph, needs to, have those conversations with Draymond and make sure that he understands that it's not just about, it's not just about wins and losses, but putting those guys out in front to have to make excuses for him time after time. It's not a good look, and obviously the wins and losses are starting to add up. But as far as the Kings are concerned, I just think that they still lack somebody on the floor and in the locker room who can really motivate guys to come out and fight. I mean, De'Aaron has always been more of of a leader by example, and that's great. And I think he's done a little bit more of that this year vocally. But I think other than that, I mean, Trey Lyles, Malik Monk, those guys are great for some energy to come off the bench. But if they're not grooving early, if they're not going to be hitting things, if they're not going to bring the energy, and then there's nobody else, and they're not even in the starting five, I mean, this team is all emotion. And if they don't get off to a good start, they're a lot like the 49ers. If they get off to a bad start and they're playing from behind, unless Fox is able to hit, however 6-7 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, then that's sort of game over for those guys. And I just feel like they're a decent team. They're barely a good team, and they're lacking leadership and somebody to really bring energy to the floor.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. You know what's good about this, and I appreciate your call. We're all watching it. We all see what some of the flaws might be, and maybe ours aren't lining up 100% with the front office, but the front office is watching. And again, I'm going off their words. Monty McNair, Monty McNair, but that front office, Mike Brown, getting from good to great is a tough leap. It's not a big jump, but that jump, that space is difficult to get to. How do you get there? They're looking at this. They know that there's strength in what the strength is. Generally, it's offensively. It's three-point shooting. It's age, athletic ability. Like they've got a good roster. It's not perfect. No roster is. But what is missing? Is it that intense locker room energy, constant fight type player? Maybe. More depth, more defense, another high-level player. They've done the fact finding, right? They've done the first part of building roster of a team that can compete on most nights. It has a chance to win. I mean, I think it's safe to say most Kings fans, like last night, the end result, they got clobbered. I went into that game going, I think the Kings have a good chance to win tonight. I did. I thought they could. They're playing a team that the Clippers and the Kings, to me, are very comparable. Now, there's differences in their team. Their roster is really good with high-level aging talent, but they're still very good. If they're all on their game, the Clippers can beat anybody. But I think the same thing can be said with the Kings. If the Kings are doing what they do really well, sharing the ball, good energy, good pace, hitting threes, adequate enough defense, hitting you with depth, all the players playing well, they can beat everybody. They really can. A lot of those elements were missing last night, and they got exposed. It looked bad. Now, they don't look like that every night, but you got to find out and shrink that vulnerable nature of your roster. It's like, all right, when the threes aren't going, which is going to happen. What else? What are your outs? Can you win a game defensively? This team, by and large, doesn't win games defensively. Can they win it in the paint and the foul line? Yeah, they can. They didn't last night, but they can find ways to do it. Can they scratch and claw and just kind of find a way? They have. Look at the Phoenix game that they won the other day. Now, we could go, Durant wasn't there. You got to win that game. Probably, but I don't think the Kings were that sharp in that game. Found a way to win. They've got a lot of find a way to win in them, but when multiple things were going wrong last night, they really kind of shrunk. And that isn't always been the case, but it was last night, and they got to identify that, when that's happening, how to get out of it, what are their plans of action to stop it as quickly as possible before a 8-point deficit is 12, and 12 is 18, and 18 is 30, then you're cooked. You're out of that game. So, again, appreciate Katie Christensen. Appreciate those of you that have checked in today, certainly on the phone lines, on the text line, on our YouTube chat, all the different ways to get to us. We've got more to get to on the show still to come in this hour. We'll recap our predictions. I've got to imagine we were much like the Kings, hot garbage in that department. We'll find out who's hot and who's not. But when we come back, 4 down territory. That is coming your way next here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's Carmichael Dave with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
The San Francisco 49ers have owned the NFC West this season, and they look to take out their division rival Arizona on Sunday.
It's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
The 49ers and Cardinals, Sunday at 1 from Arizona on your home for 49ers football, Sactown Sports.
Hold on to your Santa hats because Elk Grove Kia is turning up the holiday heat with deals that'll leave you saying no, no, no money down. This Christmas, keep your wallet at home because Elk Grove Kia is making your dreams come true with 0 down payment. That's right, absolutely nothing out of your pocket to drive home in a brand new Kia today. Or if you're ready to slay the season in style, picture this, the award-winning 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, the hottest sled in town, for just $439 per month plus tax. You heard it right, only $439. So whether it's the sleek 2024 Kia Telluride or the no money down offer, Elk Grove Kia says 0 hassles and 0 worries. ElkGroveKia.com. Qualified applicants, 0 down. Sample spot number GK9133, 48 monthly, 0 down, model number C3422, Total right, 24 monthly, 439 plus tax, 4495, new signing, 0 security, plus residual, 33,352, and year December, GK9143 expires 12
Elk Grove Kia.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic number 2 combo meal spreads cheer with a parm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save over $40 on a Werner 6-foot stepladder. Was $115, now just $69.98. And there's more. Get up to 30% off select kitchen cabinet orders. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 12/7 to 12/13 on item number 98148. While supplies last. Minimum purchase and exclusions apply. See associate for details.
At American Energy, their number one priority is making sure you and your family are comfortable in your home for the holidays. And that's why they're giving away a free whole home HVAC system to one lucky family in the greater Sacramento area. Now, if you or you know a family in need of being comfortable this winter, enter for your chance to win the American Energy Comfort Giveaway by going to the AEway.com today. You could win a free whole home HVAC system. American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. For official contest rules, go to the AEway.com. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Chrysler's Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
Okay, but what about the last of the Dodge Chargers and the Challengers?
This month, save up to $5,000 off MSRP and get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2023 Dodge Charger SXTs and Challenger GTs with no payments for 90 days.
The savings and financing won't last long. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,500 total net savings after 10,261 factor rebates and 6,239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699,991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash. Must have purchased qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of eligible First Responder Association only. No payments for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 5,000 total net savings after 5,000 dealer discount. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Equals $13.89 per thousand borrowed. 10 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Dave Bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Hey, Chris, is this Clubfoot?
It is.
Sabian?
How'd you know? Oh, you're a big FIFA guy. You probably heard it on FIFA.
You know that. People don't believe it. Big FIFA guy, big wrestling guy. My wrestling predictions usually come through.
They usually do. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble this year?
It's way too early on that, Chris. Got to give me time to do my research, or lack of it, so people think like I really don't know it. And then when I drop the hammer, and it's like, wow, how do you get that right? Yeah. By the way, apologies. I made it a mistake when I said the 20-game suspension for Draymond. If it is 20, when he come back would be at Golden One Center. It's actually would be in San Francisco, but still.
Dork.
Go to business. It would be Kings and Warriors from San Francisco. Still, the point being also TNT. We'll see. We'll see what the ultimate suspension is there for Draymond when that comes down from the league. But let's do it right now. Time for 4 down territory. Chris, take it away with first down. It's first and 10? Not 9th and 1?
Oh, it's 8 and 13.
All right, first down. What do you got?
Odds are really strong that the Panthers will finish with the worst record in the NFL, and their pick goes to the Chicago Bears. Should Chicago keep that pick and draft a quarterback?
See, this is all about Justin Fields. Justin Fields is now in this really weird cycle of a universe of what's gone on with him. They were in that spot this year where they had a decision to make on Justin Fields going into this season. They committed to Justin Fields. Before the year started, the amount of people that thought Justin Fields would be the league MVP stunned me.
I did not get that.
I was like, look, I have nothing against Justin Fields, but why are we putting him up near the favorites to win the league MVP? I don't think this team's going to be very good. And then the season went along. He wasn't playing very well. People in Chicago were upset. He got hurt. Now he's come back. He's actually played a lot better lately. That's it. It's 100% on Chicago to evaluate what they could do. And they've got their own pick, the Carolina pick. They could do some serious roster restructuring. But you could also go forward with Justin Fields and add to other elements. I think they should, at this point, go forward with Justin Fields. I think they've got a quality QB. Maybe they can get better in the draft, but you're kind of restarting again. I think they've got so many options here that this is a team, like we said, in football, you could turn it around quickly. Chicago, if they do it right, has a chance to really regroup pretty quickly. All right, second down.
Speaking of quarterbacks, there's another significant injury at that position. It was announced yesterday that Justin Herbert is done for the season. How would you describe the Los Angeles Chargers season?
This is mean to them, but it's typical. It's what they do. They underachieve, and they always have a good roster. Sometimes at this point, it's either overvalued or they've underperformed, and maybe it's a combination of both. Everyone looks at, the Chargers roster, that depth. They're going to be a team to watch out for. I feel like they always get that preseason hype, and then they're never terrible, but they're never very good either. They made the playoffs last year, had that awful postseason appearance with the blown game to Jacksonville. 5-8 right now. The last 3 weeks, we gave you that scoring total the last 3 weeks. 10 points to the Ravens, 6 in a win to the Patriots, and then just 7 this last week to the Broncos. And now finding out that they're going to be without Herbert. It's not going to get better. They play tomorrow night against the Raiders. Yeah, sadly, my description of the Charger season is typical. It's kind of what they normally do. That too. Third down.
We now have had 56 different players start at quarterback in the NFL this season. With a new starter for the Chargers and possibly the Texans this week if C.J. Stroud is out, all the rules are set to protect the quarterback. Is the NFL failing at this?
Or is it just bad luck? I mean, I think we just had a couple years ago where 60-something QBs started this week. We might even get to 57 as well. Sounds like Nick Mullins is going to start for Minnesota over Dobbs. I mean, people can't be more fragile. We know the defense is bigger, stronger, faster. But, Chris, it's crazy how many quarterbacks are getting hurt when, we'll argue, whoever's, you can't even touch the guy. Well, they're all getting hurt still.
Yeah, like Cousins and Rodgers weren't touched.
Non-contact injuries, which is the worst kind. Herbert, it's a fractured finger. That's
just
throwing,
like kind
hitting
of
a helmet
thing.
Yeah, it just you think about who else has been on Kyler Murray. Well, that was an ACL a year ago. And then you're
Brock Purdy's injury that we talked about last year. That was just a freak incident.
Throwing you can't protect the pocket that much. You're trying to protect legs and head and late hits. Most of these, I don't know if any of the injuries are coming off of late hits. Garoppolo was a back. There's just a lot of different things that are going on. They're too much of a financial investment to not protect the QBs, but I guess we're saying they're failing at it. I think there's a lot of bad luck, but it's amazing how many of these guys get hurt.
That's the one thing I don't get too, is when the union and the players are saying get rid of the turf, something that teams can do, and they're like hardcore, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
What is it? You're paying these players to not play because they're getting injured on your turf. You don't want to stop that?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, some people in the science say, no, that's just that we can show you more injuries are happening here. But, yeah, you're right. It is an investment they need to look into. All right, 4th down.
The Steelers are 7-6, and head coach Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Will that streak be broken this season?
I hope not. I mean, they had a good way to rally last year. Let's look at what they have left. And this is the dangerous part. I can just do schedule. Go, they're at the Colts, home for the Bengals, at the Seahawks, at the Ravens. That seems like that's a recipe for several losses and dropping below. But they just played the Cardinals and the Patriots at home. I'm like, they'll get some equity and build up a lead and get to 9 wins and guarantee a winning season. Well, they've had 2 bad losses in a row. Their offense has been bad. That's kind of been the theme all year long. The defense is good. They have a playoff-type defense. I'm guessing, I think it might happen. I don't like that. I want them to finish above 500. I like the Steelers. I like Mike Tomlin. And I predicted that entire division to make the postseason.
It would be fun if you went 500.
Oh, a tie?
Yeah.
8-1?
In the final game, a tie.
You love your ties.
I love a tie.
But it wouldn't be a losing season.
Oh, I would love to have that argument again that's not 500 record.
That's always a fun argument. All right.
It's the same argument every time.
Just recycled material. All right, there's 4 down territory. When we come back, we'll look back at our predictions for 3 of the key for the Kings. I can't imagine that we did well there. Who's hot and who's not, and more on Draymond Green. We've got that straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
The 49ers have secured their playoff berth, and now they chase the NFC's top seed.
Purdy out of the shotgun, looks left, throws end zone. Caught! George Kittle in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Check out all the 49ers games with Greg Papa and Tim Ryan.
On your home for the playoff-bound 49ers. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"? "You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa." Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Well, I'm kind of afraid to ask the second question, but I'll ask the first one, Chris.
I don't think you're going to like the first question.
Who's hot?
Kawhi Leonard. Specifically, Kawhi Leonard when he plays the Kings on November 29th and last night, combining all of his stats, he's averaging 32.5 points a game. Not just that, he's shooting 78% from the field.
What's crazy is, what was the first one? Like 14 of 18, I think?
Yes.
If I remember right, I think he was 0 for 3.
That sounds about right.
So he went 14 of 15, then 11 of 14 yesterday. Just own it. There's always, he does that now. He reminds people like how good he is. Did you see the stat that came up in the game? The amount of games he's played this year, he's played every game. It's his longest streak in like 7 years.
Oh, man.
Of consecutive games, and it's only at 23. That's crazy. But yeah, he's still really good. He reminds everybody he's really good. He's hot.
He is hot.
Who's not?
You might like this one.
Okay.
Draymond Green.
Oh, okay. Why is he? Why would he possibly be not hot right now?
He has played 15 games this season. He's been ejected in 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
So 20% of the games that he's played in, he's been ejected from, and he's been suspended for 5 games. And most likely, he's going to have a longer suspension after this latest interaction.
Yeah,
Yusuf?
Entanglement. Yeah, he is going to miss some time for certain. I don't know how long. We've got everybody all over the board speculating on how much to do this. I think the reason it's becoming, because again, we can't separate the past, and the league hasn't tried to separate the past. So I think just this infraction on its own, generally, normally, and even if for a multi-time offender, maybe is a game, maybe 2 games. But this is someone now that is league office priority number 1, right? You just, hey, another detention, or go to the principal's office like, oh, you again, huh? It's one of those things right now. And most of the league, most of the players of the league, most of the teams, the league doesn't really have to worry about. And you're going to have outliers. Like, ooh, that scuffle happened between Team X and Team Y, and we got punches. We're going to have to levy some fines and some suspensions, and seem like an outlier, but it's competitive nature. You got just incredible athletes and ego and temper, and yeah, all that can happen. But this is the same person, the same guilty party. And, what Katie said earlier too, is where you feel for the team that they chose this path, but they still have to respond to the actions. And by all accounts, I'm going off of other people. Apparently Bob Myers was the one of the guys that could really get through to Draymond. Well, he's gone. I don't know how aggressive Steph and Steve Kerr, and I don't think they're totally ignoring the situation, but also there can be difficult things. Look, they're not the exact type situations, but I know the Kings tried to do different things with DeMarcus Cousins. Didn't always work, right? It's still, in the end, it comes down to the person, the player. In this case, let's hear from Steve Kerr post-game after the game last night.
I haven't seen a replay, so I have no comment on it.
How big a swing is it losing Draymond at that moment?
Huge swing. We kind of felt good about, having him at the 5, spreading the floor. We got shooters out there. Obviously, changed the lineup around. We thought that could really get Steph some space, and Draymond could use his speed. You saw he got that layup the first play of the second half, and so I felt good about having him out there, and he lost his poise.
So Draymond's been ejected 3 times this season. Obviously, he's got the suspension. Who knows what's to come? How big a problem is just not only his unavailability tonight, but really parts of the season?
Yeah, we need him. We need Draymond, but he knows that, and we've talked to him, and he's got to find a way to keep his poise and be out there for his teammates.
Coach, last time you talked about Draymond not crossing the line. What can be done to stop this from continuing to happen?
We'll keep working.
Steve, when does it become more of a detriment than a positive?
Draymond's still a hell of a player, still a really good player. Yeah. So we need him. If we're going to be a really good team, we need him.
That's the puzzle the Warriors are in. They chose this path. They are better when Draymond Green is on the floor playing basketball, playing the right way, or a way that keeps him on the floor. He's helped them win championships. Steve Kerr knows that. The Warriors know that. They also know this is a potential to happen. What happened last night? Can't predict that exact scenario. Draymond said it so much. Steve Kerr said it there. He knows. They've told him. It also has to be supremely frustrating if you're a parent, a boss, whatever, when you're asking of something or requiring of something and it's not happening. You feel like you're not getting through. Why are you not getting through? Why can't they understand what I'm trying to tell them? When you're also getting punished for it, when the league has talked about it, when you've been put on blast on shows that may not matter to you. Chris, the other one I thought about last night, and I don't know if it's to this point, maybe it is, maybe it's not, when people want him off the floor, do you think it would have an impact on him? And I'm just throwing this out without knowing it, but everybody believes his next career is broadcasting. And actually, when he's on TNT, he's really pretty good.
Yeah.
What if TNT or someone else, some other entity, not that he has his own podcast, he could do his own thing. He said, yeah, we just don't want to be associated with you. Like, that's heavy, but would that be a thing? Could that be a thing? Would that move the needle?
I could think of 2 things that would happen because he doesn't need the money.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him. He's got his podcast. I could see him
doing just fine there.
Just doing, maybe do watch-alongs
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, come follow me on this platform.
Yeah.
And I'll do that.
People have their own platform.
Or the second, if he really wants to be in TNT and they say that to him, like, hey, man, you can't keep doing this or we're going to have to rethink this. He might just say, you know what? It's my time to retire.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And I'm not saying TNT would do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Charles Barkley,
right, had his
on and off the court.
Yes, has had many transgressions, many things in his playing career. It's just really difficult for the Warriors. But again, I'm not in a sense where I completely feel sorry for them because they chose this path. But, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Wiggins, Clay. I'm not even saying Draymond's necessarily like this awful human being, but he can't control it. And that's got to be difficult for them, for him, for this organization. But they knew it. They knew what they were getting into. And this isn't, hey, we drafted a rookie that had some red flags, and, man, we got to make a decision later. He's been there. He's been a part of the winning, and they just chose to re-sign him again. So, all right, so we got more on that coming up in the next hour. How did we do on our 3 in the key, our predictions from yesterday? Let's look back. I got this from Dave yesterday before he left. He was here for most of the show yesterday, but right before he left, I asked him, myself, and Chris these 3 questions for 3 in the key. The Kings were coming off a franchise record 25 made threes against the Nets, so they were playing the Clippers last night. We thought we'd ask the question, well, how many three-pointers will the Kings make? Dave said 19. I said 15. Chris, you had the low of 14. Well, the correct answer, Sacramento Kings made 10. Chris, you were the closest. The odd part, just one little wrinkle. The Kings made 10. I remember G-Man even calling it and saying, hey, they kept some long streak of making at least 10 three-pointers in the game. Then they took it off and said it was like toeing the line. I guess then they reviewed it again, put it back on. So the Kings officially made 10.
11, right?
Yeah, no, they officially made 10. But Chris, you were the closest in that, but far short of the franchise record, 25 the other night. Kings
was way off.
25 of 45 the night before. So they missed 20 at one point during the game. They missed 16 in a row after starting the 4 of 7, and it was 4 of 9, and they were 4 of 25. It was brutal last night. We asked the bench scoring leader from either team. So who is going to be the high bench scorer? Dave said Malik Monk, 21. Chris, you said Malik Monk, 19. I said Norman Powell of the Clippers was 17. The correct answer, there was only one double-figure bench score in the entire game, even with all those bench minutes, and it was Norman Powell with 15. So I was the closest on that. I can't believe there was no King in double figures. Westbrook wasn't in double figures. Oh, that might have been a highlight. I should have cut that from last night's game. Westbrook did something early in the game and rocked the baby. You're like, okay. But then he airballed the one, and they're up 20-something. G-Man said something like, see, rock the baby. It was like a snarky. It was good. G-Man was upset about the Kings and upset about the rock the baby, and Westbrook airballed, and it's like, where's the rock the baby now? Something along those lines. All right, last category. We asked for random stat. Dave said Keegan Murray will outplay Kawhi Leonard.
I was way off.
Did not happen. Keegan was maybe one of the better Kings, but no, Kawhi was the star of the night. I said Domantas Sabonis would foul out. Is 3 fouls fouling out, Chris? No. Yeah, I didn't get that either. You said there would be 2 or more technicals in the game. I don't think there were any on the court, but maybe at many people's homes or cars or listening to the game. How long did you stick with the game?
A couple minutes left in the third quarter.
That's probably longer than most.
Yeah.
Most games, there's a chance. Like, okay, I remember with Henry. Like, actually, I think the end of the second quarter, the Kings had like an 8-0 run. It was 22. I go, this is awful, but like they're starting the push of how you make your comeback.
I think I lasted. I was watching that long because it was just in the background, and I'm just going through all the Draymond memes.
Yeah, then Draymond, because Draymond happened during halftime. I remember I was literally on halftime, and that's when we talked. I'm like, wait, what's happening here? And then all my interest became what was going on with Draymond from that point on, because the Kings did not have the comeback, that's for sure. All right, we'll have another 3 in the key for tomorrow for the Kings and the Thunder when the Kings begin a 6-game homestand. We got a final hour ahead here on the show. When we come back, Niners at 9. Today we bring in our 49ers insider, Emil Fergoso. He will join us when we start Niners at 9. That is next on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
The year might be coming to a close, but Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey there, listen up, Sacramento. Ready to make this holiday season unforgettable? Well, we've got something that'll have you jingling all the way. Picture this, a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $279 per month plus tax with no money down. No, I did not stutter. No money down. That's right. Zip, zero, nada. Elk Grove Kia is spreading the joy this Christmas, and we're making it easier than ever for you to drive home in style. So why wait? I will say it again. Head on down to Elk Grove Kia and drive home your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS today with absolutely no money down. Elk Grove Kia is your go-to destination for top-notch quality and unbeatable service. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or go to elkgrovekia.com. $279 plus tax, zero custom cash consignment. Residual of $10,000 per pay, $250 lease at $10K per year, 26 per mile over 0 security. Kia through 100 subject requires step 1
Elk Grove Kia.
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's Holiday Home Sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Carmichael Dave today. That voice is defeating him. Hopefully he'll be back and ready to go tomorrow or at some point this week. We will find out as we wish him a speedy recovery. But the show rolls on. Jason Ross here with you. Thanks to Christopher Lott as well. And now it's time for Niners at 9. Our guy, Emil Fergoso, joining us, our Sactown Sports insider. Emil, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jason. I wish I could say the same to David, but I think he's avoiding me now.
You know what? You shook him. Like he's scared. I think he's intimidated by you.
Best of the rest, right? I don't know.
Well, Emil joining us here this morning. Things good in 49ers land, Emil, because they needed some help. The help has already happened. Now it's what a good spot to be in when you're a good team and you can control your own destiny. Niners had some bumps in the road along the way, but here they are now in a really good position with the last 4 weeks to go.
Yeah, and a really, really good spot for the Niners considering where they were at coming out of October, coming out of that 3-game skid, obviously. Something kind of changed in the bye week for them. I think they had a real gut punch reality check for them coming out of that bye week that, hey, we are as talented as anyone in the NFL. But if we don't execute day in and day out every single week, we're not going to be the team holding the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. And that kind of clicked for them. And since then, they've been unstoppable. Deebo Samuel, since week 11, leads the NFL in receiving yards. Brock Purdy has now been an MVP candidate, one of the top 2 right there with Dak Prescott. The defense is number 1 in takeaways and interceptions. Everything is firing on all cylinders. So now that you have your big wins, now what? Well, you just have to stay consistent going forward, and that's really what the Niners are doing, even this week in what some people are calling a trap game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, and you know what's good where they are now, Emil? Like, I personally don't think they need the 1 seed to get through, to get to their goals. But once you've got it here, like there was when you were behind the Eagles by 2 games, and if you didn't get it, it's like, well, you kind of dug yourself that own hole. But now that they've gotten out of that, it does feel like it would be a letdown now to me if they're not the 1 seed.
It absolutely would be. There's no mincing words there. The Niners are going for that 1 seed because they want that bye week rest. Obviously, there's only 1 team in the NFL, or 2 teams, I should say, 1 per conference that gets the bye week rest now in the playoffs, and it's the number 1 seed. And if the Niners can, rest up for a week going into the postseason, that's just such a big boost for them, considering how many nagging injuries they already have on both sides of the football. And if they can just have another week to prepare, I know Kyle has gotten a little bit of stick over the years for over-preparing and overthinking certain things, but this Niner team really could use a week off to just recoup and recover with their nagging injuries. So that's the real goal, is just to get through the rest of the 4-game slate, just get through it and keep that 1 seed, and then go into the postseason with a week off.
Emil Fergoso joining us, courtesy from our friends at Timber Creek Golf Course. You know about their golf, of course. Always a great time out there, but they got other things they provide, like a great ballroom for events, weddings, maybe even our holiday party. We could have had that there today, Emil, our station holiday party at Timber Creek, couldn't we?
We could have. We absolutely could have. I don't know what we didn't. So we should call call them next time.
Exactly. So here's a thought I had about the 49ers, because you mentioned it earlier that Brock Purdy is an MVP candidate. I think McCaffrey was in there. He's losing a little steam, but he's had an amazing year. But the way Deebo is playing, I mean, when we look at their highest level players, and if we put them at their highest level, who's most impactful in winning for this team? Like, if they're all playing at their best, which one gives the best version of the Niners? Because sometimes I think it's Deebo. When Deebo's running the ball and catching and doing Deebo destroyer type things, I feel like they're almost unbeatable.
Yeah, honestly, they kind of are when Deebo is back to kind of his 2019, 2021 form here. If he can just be the guy he came in the NFL as, and that hasn't happened the last 2 years, obviously with the contract negotiation and coming in overweight, not being in shape last season. He's really been critical of himself this year and say he would never put that on tape again. Well, since the bye week, since fracturing his shoulder, which that did happen, he did have a hairline fracture going into the bye week that forced him to miss 2 games. He's been a different person. He's just been a different person. He really has taken it seriously and taken everything he's done this season very, very critical and very, very holistic, not only on a 1-game approach, but also a full-length perspective. And while he's not going to get that Pro Bowl selection that he's used to in the past, he's not going to always have the numbers that are eye-popping to some, at least on a long-term projection. When he shows up game to game and has the games like he has against Philadelphia, and then last week as well, I mean, this is a guy who very clearly we have these discussions about who is the more valuable wideout, Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, and they kind of just need each other, honestly. They make each other better, and they allow other lanes to open up. And I think without Deebo in that offense, especially against Cleveland and against the Vikings and then against the Bengals, you could see the dysfunction of the offense because there's so many moving parts. And Deebo is such a part of that offense, both in the passing game and the run game. When they have to take him out and they have to put someone else in, they struggle because the team is built around getting their playmakers the ball, and he's one of their best playmakers.
And they do such a good job of that with him because I feel like his plays are just soul crushing from the other team. I mean, Ayuk is a traditional receiver. He's a great receiver, and Purdy's going to throw him open or find him open, and he's going to make plays where Debo might do the same, but it also might be a jet sweep. That's looks like about a 4-yard gain, and boom, it's 32 yards later, and he's in the end zone. And I feel like he could, like last week, there was a couple plays like he just broke the Seahawks spirit.
Yeah, no, he is a demoralizer. He is, again, a party starter, instigator, one of the heart and souls of this team. Him and Trent Williams, especially when both of them are out, they're missing their biggest emotional guys on offense. Those are the guys that lead them out of the tunnel every single game with the boombox. When this team is built so much on emotion and building off of one another's success, it's a very selfless team. But when the emotion's not there, when the hype isn't there, they kind of falter a little bit. And so to be without your hype men for 2 games was catastrophic for them. And now we're seeing it on this 5-game win streak of just how important it is, both on and off the field, to have all of your weapons, all of your talent there. And while the Niners and Brock Purdy have been fantastic, Brock Purdy himself has been excellent. He even said it himself this week. He thinks the MVP is a team award because, frankly, this team has been the most valuable team in the NFL, considering how good they are across the board.
So you brought it up earlier, Emil, about the potential of a trap game. You got a 10-3 team versus a 3-10 team. Vegas has the Niners, 13.5 point favorites.
No tease here. No tease here.
Yeah. So when you go in division, we know it's just difficult to play a team multiple times. It's got so much knowledge, and Kyler Murray's back. So how do they avoid this being a trap game?
It's really as simple as kind of what every single game is for the Niners, and it's stop the run. Do not let James Conner get going. If you have the Cardinals and get ahead of them early, it's hard to get James Conner going and hard for the run game to get going. And if you can stop the run game, you stop half the battle with them. And yes, Kyler Murray is back and looked better. They're coming off a bye week as well as a 24-10 win over the Steelers, which the Steelers clearly aren't anything to write home about right now because they lost to the Patriots. But I do think that the Cardinals represent a decent challenge for them because they have actual playmakers in Kyler Murray, in Michael Wilson, in Hollywood Brown, in James Conner. They have offense. It's just that their defense is so bad that you just feel like the Niners are going to run over them for 50, 60 minutes on the day. And that could happen, but don't be surprised if there's a cheap touchdown late and the Cardinals cover, because this is the NFL and this is a divisional game. Weird things happen all the time.
I would tell you the Niners can't look ahead. The trap part of that is looking ahead to Christmas Day when they play the Ravens. But here I am looking ahead. That on schedule, on paper, is the toughest game ahead. And looks like you're working Christmas Day this year, huh?
Yeah, Christmas night, actually. I'm very, very excited for it. My first Monday Night Football Christmas game. I'm very, very thrilled about that. This game is in particular, I've been had circled on the calendar since I saw it when it came out, because I felt at the time, at the start of the season, that this could be one of the biggest games of the year. And now going into week 15 and in week 16, it really is. This could be a Super Bowl preview, frankly, if it gets that far, obviously knock on wood with the Niners. But the Ravens have clearly, I think they're the best team in the AFC. I don't really know anymore if there is a best team in the AFC. But this is a chance for them to prove it. If they beat the Niners, who play a very similar style football to the 49ers and a very high efficient run offense based unit there with Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson's given the Niners clips over the years and given everyone clips over the years because he's a running quarterback, and the Niners have struggled against mobile quarterbacks over the years.
You said, yeah, I'm with you. I record wise they are, but I still haven't quite figured out the AFC. But as far as the NFC goes, we're starting to get a little separation. Detroit missed a chance to join the 10-win club. Dallas is now there. Philly is there. The Niners are already there. Which of those teams, and maybe there's someone else in the NFC you think, but would give the Niners kind of the most trouble come NFC playoff time?
Yeah, Niner fans aren't going to like to hear this, but it's the Cowboys. It's very clearly the Cowboys too. I think the Eagles have shown a little bit of fraudulence the last few weeks. I do think that they are still a very talented unit, but they're also banged up. And with their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, being banged up as well, that's kind of limited their offensive potential. And on defense, they're just not the same unit. They have a great pass rush, but their secondary has gotten decimated this year. They haven't been able to stay healthy with their linebackers either. Meanwhile, the Cowboys and their secondary are flying right now. Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, they've been fantastic this year. And Dak Prescott, somehow, some way, has resurge his entire NFL career. This is the guy they brought in, Trey Lance, to maybe replace after this season, and Dak's only gone out there and played at MVP level. So while the Niners, yes, beat the Cowboys and the Eagles 84-29 this season, the Cowboys are a different team than they were week 5. And I don't think anyone wants to see the Cowboys going into the postseason, and that might be the game the Niners have to play in the NFC Championship game or in the divisional round. You just don't know. But the Cowboys would not surprise me if they ended up winning the NFC East.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, right now, they basically in a tie with Philly. Now their schedule remaining is more difficult than the Eagles, but they're playing so well right now, so confident. We knew that game meant a lot to them when they played the Niners this year, though the Niners smoked them. They could exercise some demons, certainly, if they got the Niners in the postseason and found a way to beat them.
Absolutely. And I think the real key here, though, is the Niners want to keep number 1, because what does that mean, Jason? That means they keep home field advantage.
Yep.
That means they get to stay at Levi's. They don't got to travel that much, and they're very, very good at Levi's. They do not want to go on the road to see anyone. They want to go win at their house always. And if it comes down to that, I can't pick the Niners to lose at home. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I love their team. I think when they're playing at their best, they're the best team. I believe it. I firmly believe it. I think they've shown that. Their slip-ups make some sense. And lately, even last week, they didn't get the separation on the score meal with Seattle ultimately, but they were in control of the game. They had their season best yard total. Even in a game where it's not always perfect, they're still seemingly better than the team they're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, the Niners, that was a really big win for them on the maturity factor for this season, because they've talked about this in recent weeks of how we kind of just blow out teams in our victories. We don't win the gritty, grimy games. That was a gritty, grimy game against Seattle where you had to really, pick your spots and play defense, especially with Travarius Ward going out early with that groin injury, losing Javon Hargrave halfway through the game. I mean, the Niners had to really buck up and really, come to terms like, we cannot let Seattle get back into this thing. And yes, it was Drew Lock under center, but a healthy Drew Lock is better than a 50% Geno Smith, in my opinion. And Drew Lock kind of showed that on Sunday. And I think the Niners had a big, big win because of it.
Yeah. All right. What are you working on SactownSports.com that Niner fans can check out?
Yeah, more Brock Purdy news. Obviously a lot of MVP talk. A lot of the noise about the backwards hat. Brock Purdy, we're with you, buddy. You're our brother in arms of the Niners, and we hate to see that stick happen. So just some more talking Brock Purdy and more articles as well. My exclusive interview with Kalia Davis, Niners defensive tackle, is on the website right now. And Return to the Empire tonight, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with me and Nate Littlefield. And me and Nate will get into fights about why he's worried about the Cardinals for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, we're going to check that out tonight at 6. Emil, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully, are we seeing you at the holiday party today?
Potentially. I have to work out a couple of things, but potentially. I don't like to go to parties during my workday. I like to work during my workday.
Well, I can tell you, if it's anything like this building right now, there's not a lot of people here. I think they're all prepping for this party.
I know. People are trying to get me to go to this thing, and I'm like, it's my work week. It's a Wednesday. I can't take off, duties. I got to cover pressers and stuff. So
always hustling.
We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Emil. We'll talk to you again next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's Emil Fergoso joining us here. Our Sactown Sports 49ers Insider, again, brought to you by our friends at Timber Creek. They've got the golf, you know that, but there's other opportunities there to check out their ballroom, their activities, a lot of different things they could do for social events, weddings, and other planning opportunities for you out there at Timber Creek. Break time for us. When we come back, why are the Kings continuing to lose to the same teams? They've only lost to 4 teams this year. That's the good news, but there are multiple losses to the Clippers, to the Warriors, to the Pelicans, and to the Rockets. We'll discuss that and more straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I'm Ebony Loren, and Febrez's new scent, Soothe and Restore, is so good I wrote a song about it. I know just what I do. Febreze has my favorite scent. Makes the perfect environment. Sweet like sugar, smooth shea butter. What could be better than being with each other now? Breathe, happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience. Yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Thanks again to everybody that's joined us, whether it was Emil in our last segment, Katie Christensen earlier in the show. Any of you out there, or you called in, you want to hear how you sounded, whatever it might be, go back to SactownSports.com. Check it out. We got all the stuff that Emil and Frankie and Brendan and Joe, all our guys that are working so hard on our site, are putting up there daily on content. But also, our podcasts are there. That's where they live, and you can go back and listen to the show on demand anytime you want at your convenience. So a reminder that tomorrow, Sports Business with Kelly Brothers. We like talking sports business. That's at
good business.
Yeah, good business. Tomorrow at 7:30. I'm sure some thoughts on Shohei's contract. And 8 o'clock tomorrow, the great Sam Amick from The Athletic. I know Dave and I will have plenty to talk about with him. Last night.
It's the business we've chosen. As much as
what are we going to do?
Last night, disappointment all the way through for the Sacramento Kings. Totally worked by the Los Angeles Clippers. And said this, if you're joining us late, the red flags for me, a couple of things here is the amount of times in a 22-game schedule so far that the Kings have not had a chance to win a game. You're going to lose games. I'd like to see more close calls, heartbreak. Not that I want the heartbreak, but like, remember this year when they lost the game at the buzzer when Klay Thompson hit it? You're thinking, all right, you had a chance to win. You correct this, you do this, but you put yourself in a spot to win the game. You lost. Last night, the Kings didn't put themselves in a spot to win that game. There was no window, no opportunity. Clippers outplayed them in every facet of the game, and truly, it's a disappointer. You want to flush it, you want to move on, and that's fine. That's probably the right approach. But the fact that they've had probably 4 or 5 of these this year is too many for me. And so you got 60 to go. You're still above 500. Again, I still think you're a good team. But these things are happening a little bit too often for my liking, and I'm sure for the Kings' liking. Now, the other part is the fact that they've only lost to the 4 teams. And multiple times against the Pelicans, they lost 3. Twice to the Warriors, though they finally did beat them. Rockets, both times they played them. And now the Clippers, both times. Mike Brown was asked about that.
You've got 9 losses against 4 teams. Yeah. Is there a common denominator? And I'm wondering how much you buy into the idea of, we've talked about the size and the length issues, and it maybe to zero in, is it teams with size and length on the wings that are giving you matchup problems right now?
I mean, Zubac's a big guy. Valanciunas is a big guy, so it's not just on the wings. It's obviously it's if our 3 is not going in and our opponent's level of physicality is pretty high, it seems like we've struggled. And, in those situations, that's where you have to be able to turn the game into a gritty, grimy game, starting with the defense end of the floor. And we haven't been able to do that.
Another question coming from the text line: how much of losing to the same team multiple times is put on coaching? Look, I think all of this is there's credit and blame across the board in everything. When the Kings hit 25 threes the night before, yeah, the guys are making the shots, but coaches get credit for scheme and game plan. When you're not defeating a team, coaches, I don't know if they take, to me, where I always would have like the pie chart of blame, I'm going to put more on the players always. But the coaches are out there for a reason too. And so, and I'm telling you, they'll try to figure it out. They'll take some of the blame. I know they're not skirting from it, but every assistant coach, the head coach, Mike Brown, they're all thinking, okay, what could I have done differently? What did we do wrong? Promise you on the flight home, they were looking at film and or today as well. And all right, next time we play the Clippers, this has to happen. All right, this is also a concept that has to happen, no matter if it's the Clippers or the Wizards or the Magic or the Blazers or whoever team you're playing. So they're all looking at that, but that's a fair question. But yeah, this whole thing is a group project, right? It's deciding who to play and when to play if you're the coaches, when to change defenses, when to kind of impact your will. Like Mike Brown just said there. All right, when the things that the Kings do well aren't available, aren't happening, aren't making threes, aren't playing with a great pace, what are your other outs? And I think their other outs can be a paint team, still a great passing team, a free throw based game, and then timely defense. I felt like all of those were missing last night. So when all of that's happening without this true spirit to just find your way through, it's a recipe for disaster. But the fact that it keeps happening to the same teams is a fair question. It's something I'm wondering. And I think a blanket statement of saying, well, long athletic teams bother the Kings. I think the Pelicans are long and athletic. That bothers the Kings. The Minnesota Timberwolves are equally long, athletic, the number one defense, and the Kings carved them up. The Lakers are big across the board, athletic, physical. Kings have beaten them twice. OKC is probably a younger version of all of that, but they're pretty good length and space the floor and get in passing lanes. The Kings beat them without De'Aaron Fox. So it's not, long athletic wings, big front court, Kings are doomed. Sometimes, but it hasn't happened that way every time. So I don't think it's just that simple. But matchups are an issue, or have been, and each year is writes its own story. And I think last year, one of the great things the Kings did is when they saw a team a second time, a third time, they kind of cracked the code and figured them out and ended up winning more series than they lost. Right now, they still have 2 more games with the Pelicans. I know I'm not very confident about those, and those are coming up later in the year. They're 0-3 against them. 1-2 against the Warriors. 0-2 against the Rockets.
But to be fair, get about that Pelicans game, maybe Zion will be out because he ate a table.
If he ate the table, whether it's the leg or the face of the table, it is an accurate quote. I would think he'd miss some games. Unless he digested it quickly and housed another table. Who knows? But yeah, you look at the standings. Minnesota, OKC, Dallas, Denver, top 4 teams. Kings have defeated all of them. Haven't lost to any of them. Gave the T-Wolves their only home loss. At the time, Dallas's first home loss. Gave the Lakers their first home loss. They're 10-2 at home. One of the losses is to the Kings. But the Clippers, 0-2 against them. Rockets, like we said, 0-2. These are teams below the Kings. Now, when you say below the Kings, sometimes I think I'm guilty of this. I know fans are. Well, the Kings are 5th. Everybody below them. Like, okay, if we're saying that, technically the Clippers are below the Kings. They're 13-10. Kings are 13-9. Kings lose tomorrow. Clippers win. The Clippers are ahead. Like, sometimes it's just too easy. Now, if you're talking about Kings to Spurs, Kings to Blazers, that is a team below them. And the other way to go, oh, well, Dallas is above the Kings. Okay, but a game and a half. I mean, it's right there. The separation truly hasn't happened that much from teams 1 through about 11. After the Warriors, the Jazz drop off 3 back of the Warriors. Then you got Memphis, Portland, and San Antonio. So trying to figure this out for the Kings' sake, for their own sake. And again, this homestand coming up really is important. OKC, Utah, Washington. So OKC is a really good team. Utah and Washington, we would talk about as teams below the Kings. After that, though, you got Boston in there, Phoenix, Minnesota. Wow. It's a tough homestand coming up. 6 straight all before Christmas. All right, what to watch tonight? There's no Kings basketball, but there is some other NBA basketball and some games of note that you may not be thinking about. We've got that, some more on Draymond Green, and we'll wrap up the show with crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. That's all coming up here on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers have owned the NFC West this season, and they look to take out their division rival Arizona on Sunday.
It's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
The 49ers and Cardinals Sunday at 1 from Arizona on your home for 49ers football, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Fedorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. This morning, fairly clear and chilly with temperatures in the 30s and areas of frost. We will warm up, though, with plenty of sunshine with daytime highs pushing into the lower 60s this afternoon and light winds. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. Truck Smart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at Truck Smart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. Trucksmart.com. Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
This is Kenny and Jerry from Bell Brothers Plumbing, Heating, and Air. If you're thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system, now's the perfect time to take action. It's Bell Brothers' end of the year blowout, and it's happening now. We've got a limited number of high-efficiency furnace, AC, and heat pump systems in our warehouse. And we're offering $2,750 off qualifying systems if you buy between now and the end of the year. No gimmicks, no games, just a great price for buying now. If you got a quote elsewhere, we'd be happy to give you a second opinion. This is one of our best discounts of the year, but you have to hurry. When the systems are gone, the sale is over. Call Bell Brothers for details and get up to $2,750 off any qualifying high-efficiency furnace, AC, or heat pump system. Our number is 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day. Available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for the Chryslers Wrap Up the Year sales event?
This month, you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 600 new Ram trucks available, your perfect new truck is waiting for you at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. Plus, no payments for 90 days.
And what about those brand new Dodge Hornets everyone's talking about?
This month, you can lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT plug-in hybrid for only $199 a month for 27 months. That's over $5,500 in total savings.
Now's the best time to get the vehicle you need at Hoblet. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,500 total net savings after 10,261 factory rebates and 6,239 dealer discount. Sample VIN 699,991. Rebates include 1,000 case equipment cash. Must have purchased qualifying case equipment from authorized dealer and 500 first responder cash for members of eligible first responder association only. No payment for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 5,500 total net savings after 2,000 factory rebates and 3,500 dealer discount. 27-month lease with $3,995 due at signing plus tax and license fees on approved credit through Ally Financial. 7,500 max miles per year, 25 cents per mile for excess miles. 20 of each net savings.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Hill just picked up his third foul. And now Green runs over Nurkic, and he'll be called for the foul. And they're going to take a look at this. See Jason Goebel indicating they will go to the monitor here. Nurkic is down in a heap. Green just plows right over Nurkic. And we'll see if there's anything unnecessary added to it. Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be a flagrant.
Yep, for
and now
sure.
they're going to just try to decide if they think it was excessive. It's going to be at least a flagrant 1, could be a 2.
Which would be an ejection. Boy, that is a swipe across the face. Number 2.
After video review, Green makes unnecessary and excessive contact to the face. The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2, and Green has been ejected from the game.
Yeah, another ejection for Draymond Green. That was last night. One of the probably the most compelling thing of the night last night in the NBA. There was a good game between Dallas and the Lakers, but Draymond Green has become a storyline. That incident, certainly not a good mark for the league. Here's Draymond post-game talking about him hitting Jusuf Nurkic.
He was pulling my hip, and I was swinging away to sell the call. Made contact with him. As you know, I'm not one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to Jusuf because I didn't intend to hit him. I sell calls with my arms. I don't fall or to sell a call. I'm not a flopper. So I was just selling the call because he was grabbing me and pulling my hip back. So I spun away, and unfortunately I hit him. And so, like I said, I apologize to Jusuf because I didn't intend to hit him.
Oh, well, okay then. Nothing yet. You haven't seen anything, Chris, like from Shams or Sam or Woj?
Not yet. When's their next game?
League offices are open. Yeah, you know what? You're right. They don't have to do this today because I think their next game is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. The Golden State Warriors play tomorrow against the Clippers in LA. Wow.
I'm guessing it'll probably be around 12 today.
And let's guess. What's your guess? How many games?
I'm going to guess 7.
7 because it's more than he just got.
Yes.
Again, I think it's really important for people to know this because I mean, again, everybody's jumping to some pretty large numbers, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but without a history, which this is clearly a history with Draymond Green, but I think this incident, I don't know if it would even get a game. Maybe 1. Maybe. But we do have a history.
Maybe.
The league has factored that in. We have a very recent history. I mean, I think you could even have a bit of a history, and maybe it's been 4 years since you had a incident. It's like, oh, okay, well, for more times than not. But this is becoming such a problem for the Warriors, such a problem for the league. The fact that he had the 2 games in a row where he had incidents basically in early November where he got ejected for the Cavs game, but he was basically going after Donovan Mitchell. The next game, he choked Rudy Gobert. And now he's got this one.
And this game, he's played 5 games since coming back from that suspension.
Wow.
And most likely getting another suspension.
Yeah. And in his words that we played earlier when we played the full-length post-game, he said, look, I literally have not gone after players and refs. And I'm like, oh. So he's been consciously aware of that. He explained himself. You can agree or disagree. And I think the league will disagree because it's the net result. It's the action. It's what actually happened. Yeah, you might have been trying to draw a foul and you flailed your arms, but it's such, to the letter of the law, the flagrant 2 was exactly the right call. Now,
and he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt anymore.
No, and I think too much I think it's one of those things, if you always argue, people go, look at the leash you get. Yeah, because it's hard to, like, I can't tee you up every second of every time you argue. But at some point I will, and then they'll go, look, How come I'm getting that now? Because you've been doing this for far too long, and I'm just tired of it. So I'm going to tee you up. So I don't know. I don't know what the league will do. I'm anxious to find that out. My prediction of all of it is people will be upset about the amount of games. I don't know how many will be upset if it's too many, with the exception of Warrior fans, and I understand that. I also would ask that question, and I think we've seen enough of it, but this is where you have to be careful, Chris, on social media versus other fans, and there is a difference. There's some it's a blend. That would be kind of your common fans that are also on social media, and others that post, and it feels like a little bit different than maybe the in-arena fans. I really, truly wonder what Warrior fans think of them. And look, I know we all could go, oh, they defend him. They say it's no big deal. Well, that's what you see on social media, so that's all we can go by. But if you took, and I heard this example before, and I'll use it again. If you took the entire Golden One Center as the Kings fan base, let's say that's all of them that could fit in there, 18,000 people, let's say. Social media might be 2 sections of the arena. Maybe. Now, the people that post on social media might be 2 to 3 rows of the arena. Maybe. Of that section. Now, they're very loud, very opinionated, right or wrong. That's not even the point of this. What the point is, look, I'm not that often a poster on social media. I read it, though. I'm there. I see it. I go, wow, that's how they really feel? Is that how everybody feels? I don't know the answer to that. I'm not saying there's more rational fans. There might be crazier fans that aren't even posting. But people that want to use
Twitter blocked me because I was too real.
But people that want their voice to be heard are certainly sharing their opinion. They have every right to that. But I'm talking about if we do that example, and let's just say it's as much as 1,000 people in there are expressing their opinions via social media. I think that's high, but let's say it is. That's 17,000 more people. What do they think? Are they in the camp of they're out to get us? They're out to get my guy. He's too valuable. Or we hear these phrases said a lot. Yeah, he's the kind of player, though, if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not, you hate him. I will say this, and I said it when it happened in all candor here too. I got to the point where I became so frustrated with DeMarcus Cousins. Wasn't about his talent. I knew he was good. That wasn't my debate anymore. I'm like, I don't think it's a net win anymore.
I think you and I were about the same time.
Yeah, and then others got there, and whatever. It doesn't even matter. I mean, I wasn't a decision maker. It wouldn't make my choice to trade him or move on or re-sign him. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, I know he's gifted. I get it. You don't even have to point that out on the positives. I got it. I saw it. People see that about Draymond. I just thought it was hurting the team. Now, what's tricky for the Warriors, they've had more success, obviously, than the Kings. And Draymond's been a big part of that. But what does the overall group really think? Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's my guy. I'm going to love this team no matter what. Or is it, yeah, I'm tired of it. I am absolutely tired of it. Maybe there are people that aren't going to games because of Draymond. Now, we may not know that. They're only expressing their opinion on that, or if they were season ticket holders or frustrated. I don't know. I got to believe there's some people like that. Can't be naive to think, oh, nobody feels that way. I bet there are. Maybe it's a really small percentage. Maybe it's a larger percentage than we know. But it's a tough spot to be in if you're the Golden State Warriors. But you made that bed. You certainly did. What to watch tonight? No Kings basketball. You have Indiana at Milwaukee. That's probably the best game of the night, a rematch of the Eastern Conference in-season tournament finals. The games to watch, though. Philadelphia at Detroit. Pistons have lost 20 in a row. They play them 2 straight games. Lakers, who lost last night. Anthony Davis complaining about some more groin issues. They're at the Spurs. Spurs have lost 17 in a row. Lakers and Spurs also have 2 games in 3 days. So Pistons and Spurs try to break their streaks against the Lakers and the Sixers. Good luck.
Pistons, if they lose tonight, they'll tie the franchise record for most losses in a row.
Yeah, and what's did I see, is it 28 overall for
26?
26 for the league.
Yes, 76ers.
Closing in. All right, that's what's to check out tonight. What's to check out right here? Styles and Watkins. The guys will join us here in our next segment. We'll preview what's coming up on their show, and we'll wrap things up with celebrity birthdays. That's all next on Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a 2-hand flush. Makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
prices.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's Credit Christmas at Prestigio Jewelers. Get the gifts you want this year. Prestigio guarantees your credit up to $10,000. It's easy. Have a valid ID, proof of income, and be 18 or older. Prestigio has competitive pricing on all jewelry such as gold chains, wedding sets, diamond earrings, and designer brands like Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Rebuild your credit, even with a repo or a bankruptcy at Prestigio Jewelers. This Christmas, come for the credit and be amazed by the selection at Prestigio Jewelers. Online at prestigiojewelers.com.
I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call the healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This holiday season, Good Guys Heating and Cooling is turning up the warmth and spreading joy with our Toys for Tune-Ups promotion. Schedule your tune-up or troubleshooting appointment, and with a donation of a new unwrapped toy at the time of your service, we'll waive the fee. It's our way of giving back and making a difference in the lives of local children who might not have the Christmas that every child deserves. All toys will benefit Children's Hope, a wonderful local foster charity right here in Sacramento. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling at 530-GOOD-AIR to schedule your appointment, or book online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Happy holidays from the Good Guys family. License number 1057-618.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah. Come on. Woo! Yeah. Styles and Watkins in the building, ready to have their show coming up at 10. I will tell this to Christopher Laud because I now know this internally. We discussed this earlier in the show, guys, about the unique nature of our holiday party. Timing, and there's
like how it's going on during our show.
Yes, for you guys, probably more specifically for the drive guys, they don't have a real window. You guys could go later if you chose to, and we said we were pretty certain. I think, Chris, what did you say, 75% that Alan was going?
Yes.
And what was your odds for Chris Watkins?
32%.
Well, we've got at least initial confirmation that both are going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would I not go?
I don't know. Come on, Chris. Really?
You want him to answer that?
I've been here long enough. I've been to all the Christmas parties.
Wow. Were you on the Zoom one that we had a few years ago? Where we were guessing the baby pictures?
Yes.
That was a good story.
That was a good earlier.
There's only one part of that. Part of that party that I remember.
Yep. That's the one. But you guys are in the spot that the one thing I don't like about gatherings, about the one thing is I don't like to arrive late to it. Not late, but like maybe people have left.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You got a show to do first, but Like kind of walking in, what am I walking into? Are they having like this awesome time or is it weird?
Yeah.
And it might I'm not going to get there like right when it starts, but close to it. And
there's a lot.
Choice.
There's a lot on the line here because you have, the party is 3 hours. I believe it's 3 hours.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 to 4.
So we're gonna get there in the second half. Did our fearless leader already speak?
Yeah,
right?
I would say yes.
Heavy hors d'oeuvres, right? Me and
Yeah.
Chris are thinking we're probably gonna eat
scraps
throughout the show
Yeah.
just to be safe, right? Because you don't know. So there's a lot of things
A
that
lot
you
on the
got
line.
to workshop.
The other thing with like when you're going, not just this party, but parties in general, is if you get there later.
You might have missed the wave.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people have already gotten more festive.
Yes.
Than you.
So
and you don't want to show up too festive and be like, oh, I'm showing up late. I need to make sure I'm there and I'm ready. And then it's like,
yeah.
Oh boy,
didn't read the room.
Yes, but it will be a good time. Chris, why were you certain that I already asked Jason, but why were you 75% sure that I would go?
What do you mean? Like it should have been higher? It should have been lower?
No, I'm just.
Why were you
It's
leaning
pretty
a
high.
positive of him going?
I think that you want to engage as much as possible, being the new guy in town.
Yeah.
That's a
but then
cop-out.
I also
That's a
gave
cop-out,
but
but
I
you're
also gave
correct.
the 25%. Like, hey, maybe some stuff happens with your daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta go home real
just did
quick.
a
There's
work
enough.
shift.
There's only an
That's
hour.
right.
I can't really make it. If I
Yeah.
get there, it'll be like 15 minutes, so it's not worth it.
Yeah,
We're
you
doing
guys
it.
have outs, but I'm glad you're going.
Gotta go.
But I also said, the unique nature, and it happens probably in any kind of party, but I don't think the drive guys will be able to go. Like, it'd have to be right at the front.
It's
Dave's
dicey.
already sick, out today. I think Chris and I are going like, wow, Chris is just going to be like me and you hanging out together, which is totally fine. But generally what happens at these is, hey, Sactown Sports is over here. Mix is over here. KNCI is over here. Sales over here.
We're bringing everybody together.
You're bringing bits. you're doing stuff.
Frankie and Brandon. We're doing the round table later, so we're all going over. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah.
Chris and I are both wearing green.
Yep.
We didn't even coordinate this.
different shades.
Different shades,
What, was it green to wear at the party or what?
Christmas
Festive.
colors.
Red,
but
you
not
can wear-
too festive.
You can wear
Red is
ugly
too
sweats.
Come on, guys. You're being very loose with your Christmas green wear that you're wearing.
What's the problem?
What are you talking about?
You've got like a
That's like
foam
key lime pie.
green.
You're wearing a Canada shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Look,
Christmas in
you have
Canada.
somebody in Allen Styles who, in 1 week, has
Plus, I
done-
won't be wearing
Scratches
this
my
when I
third
go over
person.
there.
has done the Santa parade.
Yes,
and
right.
now bringing people together at the holiday
It's
party.
your party.
I might be the most festive person in the building.
You're coming in a Santa hat.
I left it at home,
I knew you had one.
but I do have one,
Yeah.
of course, and my child has one.
Yeah. What if there's breaking news before the show is over and like this Draymond suspension and you guys are so worked up like I can't go to this party? Not happening.
Don't see that
Not
happen.
happening.
Okay.
Like they say, Draymond Green suspended indefinitely.
I'd go live from the party.
I want party reaction.
Hey, we're celebrating! Woo!
What is? I mean, I literally don't know the amount of games he should get.
A lot of people are saying he's going to get 10. If you look, relatively speaking, I don't know why he did that, but 10 seems. I mean, 5 for the choke. It's weird, right? Because 5 for the choke seemed fair. If it happened in 2 different orders, 10 for the choke easily.
Yeah.
But because this
if they were
one,
flipped.
he's not even looking, which is just kind of bad in a different way.
Yeah.
But it would be crazy to me if he got 10 games. It would really just be based on what he's done.
Right, which
I
is
don't
what
think
they
what
said
he
before.
did. Right. I don't think what he did is worth 10 games, but they might have to if they just gave him 5.
Yeah.
What, 7? I don't know.
I'm saying 10 to 20.
10 to 20.
Yeah.
We said
Wow.
this earlier. If and a bunch of texters, and you guys will get this too, said 20. I said the irony, if it's 20, game 21 is the Kings. Of
No
course.
way.
Yeah.
But now we know it's
20
gonna be 20,
game
yeah.
suspension confirmed.
You heard it here first.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah, we said this too. Like, it didn't happen this way, but if it was Steph, he gets the 2 flagrant. He's definitely. I don't think he even gets a game.
No.
But we're doing past history.
Right.
All flagrant 2s are reviewed. A lot of times it's a fine or like, you got your punishment was you were tossed out of the game.
Right.
But this is different.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just talking about it, but if you remember, Joe Dumars said after the suspension from stepping on
Stomp.
Sabonis or stomping, I should
Yeah.
say, not stepping. That part of the reason they suspended Draymond was because he was a repeat offender,
Yeah.
and now that was 2 incidents ago.
Yeah.
So
And he also told us in his statement post game was that he doesn't apologize for things that he didn't mean to do. You know, if he had intentionality, then so he intended to stomp on Sabonis' chest.
Well, and did he ever actually apologize to Rudy Gobert?
No.
Yeah. No. Because he was defending.
He was defending his teammate.
Would you consider the 360 slap? Would you consider that incidental?
Which was the better 360? Malik Monk's miss, layup, or
Monk? Yeah.
Would you consider? What is the definition of incidental?
Not
contact?
that.
But he wasn't looking at him.
But you also know, like, there's a feel of what you're doing. He knew what he was doing.
You know what's funny is we were watching this as we're trying to put baby girl down, and my wife, she's 7 months now and getting more control of her limbs, but like she will pull, she will slap on accident. We think on accident, and she said that reminds me of our 7-month-old.
Suspended?
She was suspended.
Yeah.
To her
Grounded
crib
for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Time for Celebrity Birthdays, brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies. Happy birthday, Taylor
Swift.
Correct answer. How old is Taylor Swift today?
I mean, we all know this, right?
Not even.
Oh,
Are you sure? Yeah.
Actually,
are you certain?
Positive.
Yeah.
More certain than you were on Alan's percentage of going to the Christmas party?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think she's got to be 34.
Yeah, she's 34.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because
89.
Yeah, 89.
Right.
Princess just now getting it.
The only reason I knew that math that quickly is because I was born in 90. I just added one.
How badly do you guys feel when I tell you that she is actually, she's 34. Good work. Correct answer. Happy birthday,
89.
Jamie
Fox.
Lynn Curtis.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Spears.
Column. I don't know.
We have a correct answer. It is Jamie Foxx. How old is Jamie Foxx
That's
today?
another tough one. That's not his real name, by the way.
Oh,
really?
That surprised me.
People ask me if Alan Stiles is my real name. They do.
Is it your real name?
I guess we'll never know.
Oh. Wow, I asked. How old is Jamie Foxx today?
That's a tough one.
Oof.
I'm actually going to go 54. It's a confusing one.
Go back to his album.
I'm going to say 53.
54, 53?
De'Aaron's Uncle Fox is, let's say, 56.
We have a correct answer, and it is 56.
Oh, yeah.
Chris
Oh, yeah.
Watkins.
Saw a lot of him in Vegas.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Kerr.
V. Knicks.
Jobs.
King. King.
Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi. You know who Steve Buscemi is? You do know
Heard
who
the
Steve
name.
Buscemi is.
Yeah, I
heard the name.
definitely know.
I know you know who he is, Chris Rod.
He is 63.
He's in like every Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah. He's that guy. He's that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
Fargo. I don't know what else.
Right.
Reservoir Dogs.
Sopranos.
Grown Ups with Adam
Yes,
Sandler.
and Grown Ups too.
And Grown Ups too.
My favorites.
Grown Ups original is way better.
I'll say
Now we're gonna fight.
I'll say 60.
He's got to be older than 60, right? No disrespect whatsoever. 63.
260.
What did you say?
He said
63.
He is 66. And we finish out with happy birthday to Rob and Rex Ryan.
Ah,
I don't
Twin
think
brothers.
I knew they were twins.
It's going to be weird where they're younger than you would think. I'm going to say 61.
Oh.
I'll say 58.
They can't be. 63?
We have a correct answer. 61.
Wow.
I thought they were older than that, to be honest. But anyway, that's it for us. Hey, we'll see you guys at the party.
See you there.
Yeah, if we're still there.
Oh, well, I will be there.
Yes, I
And
know
Chris
you will
will
be there.
too.
I will.
Styles and Watkins coming your way next here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox. The